together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Breaking this morning, Gonzaga will indeed join the Pac-12. The conference announced that themselves. The move adds one of the country's most respected men's hoops programs to the conference. However, even though the Zags are adding all sports, they still won't count as a full-time member because they don't have football. That means the Pac still needs to find an 8th member before the 2026 deadline. A story off the field in the NFL, a Jacksonville Jags employee who stole more than $22 million from the team is suing FanDuel in a lawsuit filed this morning, claiming the sportsbook exploited his gambling addiction. He's suing them for $250 million in damages.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, well, we had 2 Monday Night Football games, one of them being a loss for the Seattle Seahawks. I gotta say, Bump, I don't really feel upset or worried or panicked after this one. This is not a game that once it came to an end, I thought, oh, I really hope they learned a lesson. No, I actually liked a lot to come from this one. And the context defensively is, of course, they're missing 6 starters. So let's get to some points, some main takeaways from the game quickly. And then You have a bold statement you're ready to make. I don't know what it is. Obviously, listeners don't know what it is. I'm very eager to hear it. So first, we'll start with one of the bigger stories to come from this one, that being obviously Seattle's defense. We'll start there. 6 starters out once Julian Love left the game. They allowed plays of 70 yards, 40 yards, 30 yards, and 29 yards. How impactful was not having those starters? Is that just what we chalk this up to?
No, you chalk it up to the Lions being a good football team, too. I mean, they're no punks over there. Jared Goff played the game of the season. Montgomery got going. 3 or 4 pass catchers got going. The play calling was on point. No, the Lions, they are a good football team, and they should be power ranked in the top 5, even though I don't like power rankings. But you look at the Lions, that is a good football team. And then now you look at the matchup. All I want to say is keep that same energy to everyone who was like, oh, well, the Hawks ain't play nobody. The Lions didn't get the Hawks at 100%. You got interior linemen missing. You got linebackers missing. You got edge rushers missing. That is a good football team, and they deserve to win that game. But the same way people were saying, oh, the Hawks didn't play anybody, you got to look at this and say, not having your guys definitely had an effect on the game. And how is that? Of course, I broke down the film, didn't get to sleep until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning because I need to see what was going on. I need to see it. And it's all about the bigs, right? The offensive linemen, the defensive linemen. The Lions' offensive linemen did a great job getting the push, and you're playing with a couple guys at the linebacker spot. You're rotating in Drake Thomas and Tyrese Knight, and they're new to the game, so they don't have the same instincts that a Jerome Baker would have. Not excuses, just reality. Obviously, 2s are 2s for a reason. So it all starts in the box, and then when you expand, there's some tackling issues on the back end, and then honestly, Ben Johnson did a great job of dialing up certain plays when they were getting pressure. It's almost like at times he knew when they were going to get pressure, and he dials up the perfect play. Goff was 18 of 18, 12 for 12 on play-action plays. My man, I mean, you get that run game going, you have to respect everything that offense is doing. So big ups to the Lions, man. They were intense. At times, it seemed like they were playing at a different speed than the Seahawks, and they were the better team on that night. And I love what Mike McDonald said. He goes, well, we aren't where we're supposed to be, and we shouldn't be where we're supposed to be 4 games into the season. So the first thing you have to do is big ups the Lions because, honestly, as an offensive guy, it was creative, and it was fun to watch. It just hurt that it was happening against the Seattle Seahawks.
A defensive lineman, Jonathan Hankins, who saw plenty of snaps in this one, said he's not blaming it on players who were hurt.
I don't think the players that was out have anything to do with the way we lost today. It was just a lack of communication, a lack of discipline. Kudos to those guys, man. They had an amazing game plan, and honestly, we just couldn't stop them. So, got to give them credit. They came out with a great game plan and did what they had to do.
So, again, with this game, you have a player in this game saying, no, I like this was not on the players who were injured out there. But, like, had you heard the name Tyus Bowser before or Trey Gray before? No, because Tyus Bowser isn't a regular starter and Trey Gray doesn't exist. I made that name up right now. You just weren't entirely sure about it. These are not players that you've typically heard and are typically taking snaps. So it's hard for me not to have a little bit of an excuse that I'm writing and not to look at this as a game in which Mike McDonald had one hand tied behind his back and Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Lions, had really great counter punches that Mike just couldn't respond to. Oh, you want to throw out nickel and really lean on your defensive backs because you're so banged up front? Well, we're going to run it all over you. So again, it was hard to have a counterpunch when you're playing with one hand here. So that's kind of how I saw this.
Who was that player in that clip? Who was
Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, and look, that's what teammates are supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Is he going to step to the press conference and say, yeah, we didn't have our dudes? Nah, because you're going to need those guys at some point in the season later on. It's unfortunate that you had to start 4 guys who didn't really get run like that, but it is what it is. Miles Adams had 21 snaps against Detroit. Before then, he had 1 snap all season against the New England Patriots. Hankins had 41 this game. Before that, the most he had was 30 against Miami. Bowser had 26 against Detroit, 26 snaps. Before that, 12
what about Trey
against
Gray?
Miami. Trey Gray, he had 100 of the snaps. Knight had 39 snaps. I mean, I don't think it affects your play calling, but it affects kind of the chemistry and the flow of some things. So, but that's what teammates are supposed to do. You have your teammates back and say, no matter who's in there, we should get the job done.
There was stuff defensively that we did like. We're going to get to that a bit later in the show. Let's go to, let's see, do you want to go a little bit on offense? No, we're actually going to go next to this question. Who paid these refs? Who paid these refs? I am not this person. I don't want to be this person. I always think it's really tacky because I come from a reporter's point of view, not a fan point of view, so it always feels really gross to be like, bad call, boo. That's exactly how I felt in this one. There should have been a defensive pass interference call benefiting DK. What was that OPI call on Tyler Lockett? This one right here.
Ball is at the Lions 39. A trip set to the right. Empty backfield for Geno. Takes the shotgun snap. Shifts. Got a man wide open. JSN, but a flag comes flying in. And we got an interference call on the Seahawks. Coming inside and blocking.
Yeah, that one was on Tyler Lockett, that one pass interference call where he's like bullying past a defensive back. And you had looked at some other calls. I don't know if you're getting to this in 4 down territory, but like there were just moments. DK's 2-point conversion should have counted. What do you mean they ruled it wasn't a catch? What are you talking about?
Yeah, DK was in for sure. Had possession of the ball, controlled it. His knee was down. All you need is one knee, and you're good to go. As far as Tyler Lockett, I looked up. There are 2 or 3 more plays that resemble the play that Tyler Lockett got called for that offensive pass interference. Put a tweet out, and there's some people, what do you mean, Bump? He can't just run through the DB. I go, yes, he can. He can attack a shade of the DB. He attacked the inside shade, made some contact, and got through it. Just because the DB is standing on a plot of land doesn't mean he owns that plot of land and can't have any contact. The referee, and it's a tough call for that ref. It's hard to be a referee, but where the referee jacked up is the guy who was chasing JSN actually ran into his own guy and made contact with him. He saw Tyler Lockett and threw the flag. It was unfortunate, man, because listen, when you run those plays, of course you're trying to cause confusion, have guys run into each other, but there's a way you have to do it. I saw DK do the same thing earlier, and they didn't call anything. And then you look at the Detroit Lions, they got called for it, but it was a tight end, I believe, clearly altered his route to go get somebody and ran into him. It's hard to be a referee, and there's 2 ways you can look at this. It's either you can say, oh, you're making excuses, or you're analyzing the game. This is what happened. I started this thing by saying the Detroit Lions are for real. This is a good football team. Montgomery, Gibbs, Laporta. I have seen, but it's been a while since I've seen a defensive player affect the game and not record a sack or a tackle. Aiden Hutchinson is crazy.
Unreal.
Spin moves, bull rush. He was getting that backfield. Didn't record one stat, 3 quarterback hits, but affected the game, and it was impressive to watch him work.
Yeah, it was like he works in your nightmares. Like he's not there in real life, but he'll like haunt you in your dreams. That's kind of like his presence in that backfield for Geno. He was working Stone Forsythe too, which again, you're down to your 3rd string right tackle. Like Seattle just kind of banged up front or with question marks on their offensive line, and then a ton of injuries on their defensive line. Look, I know that it seems unfair in a game to add little asterisks and say like, oh, well, what about this? But I'm sorry, it's hard not to. Like, I think this would have been a much closer game if a few of these calls had gone the other way or not been called at all because they were a little ticky-tacky, and if you would have had even 2 of the 6 defensive guys out returning. Okay, so last one here. Geno Smith in the offense put up 516 net yards. Y'all, I want to end on this for a reason. It really is a huge silver lining to come from a loss, and the reason none of us are pressing the panic button. It's the most for any Seahawks offensive performance since 2020. You guys remember 2020? What a year. And they also scored a season-high 29 points. How special did he look out there?
Geno was on point, man. He threw the ball 56 times. That's a career high. Had 38 completions. That's a career high. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's just trying to make a plays late in the game. You're trying to give Jason an opportunity. It's crazy because every one of his picks, I can make an excuse for him. And yes, for this, I am making excuses for Geno. Like the other 3 picks, one was tipped. The other one was tipped. This one, he's just trying to make a play late in the game. Jason, go ahead and get it. But I think you asked me yesterday, is it fair to ask Geno to win the ball game? And I was like, look, it depends on the game. You don't go in the game and say, Geno, we need you to throw it 56 times and have 395 yards for us to win this game. No, you let the game dictate what type of game is necessary to win. And that box for the Detroit Lions was incredible to start the game. They shut down the run. Then you get behind 14 points. You have to throw the football to get back in the game. It's 21-7 when you come out of halftime. You have to throw the football. I was doing the show yesterday, and people were like, I can't believe they abandoned the run. You know what the run does? Tick, 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 tick. You get more bang for your buck when you throw the football. When you're down 14 against a team like the Detroit Lions, you have to score quickly. Therefore, you throw the football, and I think Grubb did a great job adjusting when it came to that. Geno was on point, man. I was really impressed by Geno. His leadership, his composure, getting to the line of scrimmage. He checked out of some plays. At no point during last night's game did I think Geno was overwhelmed.
You told me today that you're ready to make a bold statement, and I don't know what it is. Listeners don't know what it is. But what is the bold statement?
Yeah. The big question with this team, right? You got a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. People were saying Sam Howell should be the guy. I bet y'all have calmed down with that now. They should go draft a quarterback. I was one of those guys who thought maybe they should get a quarterback. I'm going to tell you right now, the Geno that we've seen for 4 weeks, you can win a Super Bowl with Geno. You can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. He's first in the league when it comes to yards, second when it comes to completion percentage. This guy does not make many mistakes. He's keeping the team in the game by himself. The line is blocking. The receivers are making plays. But some of the throws that he's making, he's running. It's 3rd and 10. He's running to the sideline. I'm watching the All-22. Y'all got that TV version? It does no justice when you're breaking down Geno and what he's doing. He's running to the sideline, throwing the ball to JSN. Like the window is legit 2 feet wide that he has to fit that thing in. And he's making these plays. And I'm watching this game. I'm watching it on TV first. And I go, this is crazy. Geno's on another level. And then I watch the All-22, and I really appreciate what he's doing. There are a couple throws. Back shoulder throw to JSN that he should have got. He's putting the ball where only his receivers can get it. Is he going to make mistakes? For sure. He's a human being. But Geno is playing at such a high level right now. And the 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions could fool you a little bit. You'd be like, whoa, but what about the touchdown-interception ratio? I was listening to First Take rolling in, and they're like, Detroit just destroyed the Seahawks, and they were 3-1 or 3-0. I go, y'all not watching the film. You're just looking at the score and the stats. And even if you look at the stats will lie to you. 516 yards of offense, 38 first downs. These dudes were moving that ball. The fumble by Geno jacked them up. The pass interference on Tyler Lockett, those are things that really happen. But Geno Smith, right now, you give him a defense that is healthy, that is good in the box, that has linebackers, that's good on the back end. With this offense, I'm telling you, Geno is good enough to win you a Super Bowl. I think the best thing this organization have done since Russell left was give this dude a chance because he's on another level right now.
What if someone, and I can already hear them say it, says, oh, I think this is a one-off for Geno. Like, this is just Geno who had a really good game. He'll do that sometimes, and then he'll come out and upset you. He's really just a 500 level quarterback. Like, what if there are people who think and say that right now and who are yelling at their radio right now? So going, Bump, you're crazy.
If that's what you think. That's what you think because you're gonna look at his win-loss. And I hate when they attach win-loss to quarterbacks because a quarterback does not play defense. He's not a defensive lineman. He's not an offensive lineman. He is not calling the plays. He's going out there and he's executing. Geno is good enough to win you a Super Bowl if you surround him with the weapons. Offensively, when Ken Walker's healthy, when you got all your receivers out there, imagine we haven't even seen the best line that this team has to offer yet. Abe is still messed up. Yeah, 4 guys missing on defense. The Detroit Lions are the better team. You put Geno on the Detroit Lions, they're going to go out there and ball out. He's going to throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns and look great. You put Geno on any of these contending teams, you put him on the Ravens. You put him on the Bills. You put him on the Dolphins. He could save the Dolphins season right now. If they wanted to trade and make an offer, it ain't going to happen. But imagine, you put him on the Dolphins right now, the team who's averaging 11 points per game in the league right now, the lowest in the league. Geno can make that team a contender. This is real. It's taken me 3 seasons to really buy in and see it this way. But when you are watching that film and his decision-making, the way he's throwing the football, I'm telling you, this dude's playing at a different level. We're 4 weeks in. 4 weeks in right now, Geno can win you a Super Bowl. He's got to continue to do it because he doesn't have the resume of Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or even a Jalen Hurts who's struggling. I'll take Geno over Jalen Hurts right now. I'll take Geno over Jared Goff right now. I'll take Geno over Brock Purdy right now.
You'll take Geno over the Jared Goff that was 18 for 18 last night. Caught a touchdown.
I'll take it over him right now.
You'll take him over Brock Purdy, who's one of the most accurate quarterbacks
in a heartbeat. You put Geno on any of these contending teams, and they are still contenders. It might elevate some of them. No cap. Geno, you can win a Super Bowl with Geno.
All right, we are going to get back to this conversation in less than 15 minutes because the rest of Twitter has been reacting to Geno's performance as well. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
In the other Monday night game, the Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12. What's the real headline?
Has anyone heard from Mike Lefko this morning?
Man.
Our sole Titans fan working here. I'm a little nervous.
He went on a hike yesterday, didn't he?
Did he come back?
I don't know. He had to go. He felt like it might not be in well for him.
You know how cats sometimes go under the house? You know what I mean? Like when you're like, where's the cat? And it's like, no, it left because it knows what it needed to do. What if Mike Lefko saw the Titans and thought, I'm done?
You know, I think maybe, because he couldn't.
I'm going into the mountain and never coming back.
He couldn't have done it last night because that's dangerous. So
that's true.
During the day, he went up there to meditate because he felt like something could happen, and it happened for him, and he's good to go.
Headline rewrites.
Gonzaga officially announced they'll be joining the Pac-12 on July 1st, 2026. What's the real headline?
Only 4 more teams until the conference name doesn't feel like an ironic insult. Now, I will say Gonzaga will be added in all sports. However, it is only a part-time member, not a full-time member, because it doesn't have football. So even though the Pac-12 has made huge steps forward in terms of getting to that 8-team minimum in order to keep its conference status, and that deadline is next summer, summer 2026, they still need another school because you need to add one with a football program. They've had preliminary discussions in addition to Gonzaga with Grand Canyon and St. Mary's.
Yeah, it'll get done. I'm just happy it's all coming together. Mm-hmm. You're starting to see it, man, because it was the opposite for so long. You're looking at the Pac and saying, well, the visibility is bad. This deal has to be made soon. You hear rumors about people leaving, and it's almost like we just sat there, or meaning the commissioner, just sat there and waited for things to happen. Now you're being proactive. You're going out there. You're reaching out to people. You got a great basketball program in Gonzaga joining the situation. This is awesome. I'm not worried about them finding another football school. It's going down.
Headline rewrites.
The former Jags employee who stole more than $20 million from the team is suing FanDuel for exploiting his gambling addiction. What's the real headline?
This lawsuit is the latest in a long line of long shot bets. I was going to make another headline that I don't feel is appropriate, but I'll tell you off air.
Man, it's like me getting pulled over by the cops and saying, well, the liquor store sold me too much liquor. I mean, they're preying on me because they know I can't control myself. Ooh. No, man, come on. You got to be a grown man. Step up to your responsibilities. Take it on the chin. You did this.
We are borderline not sports topic safe right now because this does get into conversations about gambling addiction and addiction in general. However, I'm still going to say it. There is, in addition to being like a level of a victim when you're an addict of something, and a gambling addiction is just, studies have shown, like, it triggers the same parts in your brain as if you were addicted to drugs, addicted to other things. There is still a level of accountability. You stole $22 million from your employer.
Man.
$20 million of that went to FanDuel because you say that you had a gambling addiction. I guess I can believe that when you're stealing $20 million to spend. You also spent some on private jets, on elaborate trips. This is money that was not yours. So there is a level of accountability that, frankly, it sounds like this employee is just not taking, and suing for $250 million in damages for what? Maybe trying to make back money that he's owed, or that he owes in a lawsuit, maybe?
I don't know. At least try to break even on paper.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now, it's like you're trying to come out in the green. You know, come on,
he's
man.
He's like, one more roll of the dice.
You can't commit crimes and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna come out on top of this and I'm gonna sue. Here's the thing. He doesn't expect to get 220, right? You start high and you try to meet somewhere in the middle. I want to know who is the judge who is going to be handling this situation and what's their perspective on this whole thing. He must have a case. He must be getting advised by a lawyer, and they're saying, look, we actually have a case here. Let's go see if we can get her done. I realize people have addictions or whatnot, but this is a bit ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you lost 20 and you're trying to get 20 back, I would say okay, but still question you because of all things you just said. It wasn't like he was hoarding the money. He was going out and chilling.
So this is preliminary stuff. So maybe as more things unfold with this lawsuit, we'll find out wow, FanDuel really, really tried to exploit him. How messed up. However, again, my take on it is also shaded because this was not his money. It was money he stole from his employer. So it's not like it's hard-earned money and he's a millionaire.
Not like he really lost it.
Yeah, and he's finding that they're poking and prodding and exploiting it. But his basic take is that they really try to incentivize big spenders. So if you're someone who's already gambling and already using a ton of money on those sports books, then they're going to send you all kinds of incentives to keep doing it. Hi. Welcome to the way that any free market company is going to work. If I go on Instagram, do you know how many ads I get for places I've already purchased things from? The second I search for a certain shoulder bag, I'm going to see that ad. It's just, it's how it works. You're in, first of all, capitalist society, but also This is just how the market is going to work, and there are resources for people that have gambling addictions, and a big part of that is going to be stepping away from the sources that you're already turning to. Again, you kept digging this hole deeper. You kept stealing money. I think gambling addiction is very real, and you should seek treatment for that, but you broke the law first. You are not a 100% victim in this case. And again, I know that that's insensitive, and there are people who deal with addictions that are going to think I'm crossing a line. I just think that this is a very gray area that he's found himself, and he committed crimes to get there.
There's still laws, man. And that's where it gets tricky, right? Someone has a disease, an addiction, but you're still breaking laws. So what do you do? You know?
Yeah.
I'm not a judge.
No.
Thank God. You go ahead and figure that out.
Please do your homework on sports gambling. Please read this article. Addiction's a real thing. Hi, I have family members who have lots of addictions that they've dealt with, and I've lost family members to addiction. I understand addiction very well. I also think that there is a small level of accountability that you need to have, and oftentimes you need resources and support and help to find that accountability. Maybe we're going to find out that FanDuel was in the wrong. Again, we only have little tiny glimpses of what this is, and I am very
I got
open.
so many questions.
I know.
Like, how does FanDuel take advantage? Do they have a profile on you?
I would love to know.
They talk to you and then they profile you and say, this guy, we got him.
And we may find out that FanDuel or that any number of sports books are using these really corrupt, dark, horrible ways to take advantage of people with gambling addictions. We may find that out. And that would be an incredibly insightful thing to learn, and obviously very damning information. I'm just saying, based on all that we know, which is very limited information, you stole $22 million from your employer, and you're suing this company for
$220 million.
$250
Who's your lawyer? What does your lawyer know?
Yeah.
Call me, man. I might need need somebody to have my back one day.
We're getting back to actual sports talk. Going to Geno Smith next.
Hawks Live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Join former Seahawks Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer as they go deep on the Hawks with player interviews and opponents' analysis.
We're joined now by Drake Thomas. Talk to me about the Mike McDonald defense.
I think he really utilizes personnel well, and I think that the game plan and attacking teams and what they're doing is just on another level.
Presented by the Bellevue Collection.
Every Thursday night throughout the Hawks season.
Looking for Seahawks tickets? Sign up for text notifications to receive alerts about last-minute ticket availability and offers. Simply text the word Seahawks to 71211. Go Hawks!
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2 is open. Reserve your showing now for this weekend. Ty, tell us about it.
Our Phase 2 features a release of 12 extra-large RV lots starting at only $89.9, complete with full hookups. Don't have an RV? Come see a stunning turnkey park model. It's the perfect way to make Natchez RV your home away from home.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Fishing, hunting, snow skiing, golf, river rafting, outstanding wine tasting, and more.
Our 4,300-square-foot clubhouse is now open with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry.
Completed are the pickleball courts, playground, dog park, and miles of recreational trails. The saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are just a few weeks away. So reserve your showing now for this weekend, featuring 12 extra-large lots from just $89.9. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Are you a skilled HVAC tech looking for a top-rated team? Join Ben's Plumbing, rated 5 stars for exceptional service. Enjoy great pay and benefits, a supportive team, and a non-commissioned HVAC career. Visit benz.plumbing/careers to apply.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the internet, and you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Ken Walker had a big impact on the Seahawks' offensive performance in his return to play Monday night with 116 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns, and an incredible highlight reel play where he was tackled and flipped around by the defender twice and somehow managed not to touch the ground. Geno Smith spoke about what it means to have him back post-game.
Oh, man, he's special. He's special, man. You see the plays that he's making. I don't think any other running back could, do some of the stuff that he's doing. I mean, I'm surprised every time he makes, one of those just crazy plays. And, to have him and Zach back there, to have that one-two punch, and to be able to utilize both of those guys within our offense, it just makes us that much better. And so just having Ken back, man, it's great. I just enjoy having him on our team.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I mean, I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about football. Have fun, but be responsible on game day. Even if it's on your best friend's 100-inch 4K UDR and surround sound 5.1. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, a designated driver needs to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after a few too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe on game day. 1-800-DUI-AWAY. I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about Google. It's so important, it's a verb. Google it. Then check out our hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. They ended my case with such favorable results that even the judge was surprised. Give yourself the absolute best chance of staying out of jail and give Bradley Johnson a call. I contacted other firms with no call back. I then called Bradley Johnson and scheduled a meeting immediately. Google us. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bump, you made a bold take, and it's not even a Friday. You said, look, I think this team can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. That was not a statement that would have gone unchallenged 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. Certainly not at the beginning of training camp or in the offseason.
I said Geno's good enough to win you a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Things got to, defense got to be on point, O-line, all that good stuff.
You're right. I misquoted. So Geno is good enough to win you a Super Bowl. There were a lot of challenges about that earlier this season. I mean, anytime we would bring up Geno, we ended up talking about Geno for longer than we anticipated because people would sound off on the text line or people would call in and they'd say either, yeah, I believe in this guy, I think he's underrated, or this is a 500 quarterback. Like this is a guy who is average. He is just basic. He's a bridge guy. There were people who were upset that they didn't go and get a quarterback in the draft. There were people who were really bummed that Sam Howell didn't become the starter. One of the most popular questions we got in training camp was how Sam Howell looked because people were curious as to whether this young guy that they went out and acquired could come in and beat Geno for the job. And instead, what we're looking at is a Geno Smith that is quite frankly playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football. I know that's isolated to this year, but I don't think it's too much of an aberration. I think it's really about a resurgence for his career. Art Stapleton saying the rebirth of Geno Smith is really one of the most remarkable stories in recent NFL history. What things from last night's game to you spoke the most to Geno's ability?
Couple third down plays, the football, the spots where he's throwing the football. That one to Geno to start the one to DK to start the game on the sideline, high sideline, boom. There's a play that JSN missed. He ran like a wheel route kind of. Geno throws a back shoulder right at his hip, right where you want it. Me and Brian Walters were watching the game and saying that is a perfect throw. I don't know where else you can put that. I'm looking at him stepping up in the pocket. Like, it was chaos. There was chaos going on around Geno. If you look at the pocket that Jared Goff was able to operate from, it was clean as heck. Now, they did get the run game going, so the play action was on point, so you can influence the defense a bit. Jared's pockets were great, and Jared played his butt off, too.
He sure
You
did.
tip your cap to Jared. No hate on the Lions at all. They were the better team last night. But Geno was operating in chaos. Aiden Hutchinson was the most dominant player on that field and didn't record a sack or a tackle. He was manipulating the pocket. You had some miscommunication on the offensive line at times, and Geno just stood tall. At no point did he look like he was flustered or that he was incapable of getting done. If anything, he kept this team in the game. When you needed them to go on a drive and drive down the field, he did it every single time. Now, one play that drove me crazy last night. Your center, Connor Williams. It is 4th and whatever. You're inside the 10-yard line. You do not snap the ball because you see the clock going down. The quarterback does not say hike. He does not give you the sign. You do not snap the football. Like that. That is one of the things that Mike McDonald's going to address and say, make it right. Connor Williams is a good football player, and you understand his motives behind that. He was like, look, the clock's running down. This 4th down. We need to get this play off. In that situation, I'm thinking, okay, what's the process like? What's Grubb's communication with McDonald? What's McDonald's communication with Geno? Like, the logistics, the procedure was just all off, and those are the things that I'm walking away from this game thinking, I'm glad they went through it because now you've experienced it. You've been in that situation. You know what's up. But Geno was he made every throw, man. He's not going to be perfect. He's going to throw interceptions. He's not going to lead the league in touchdowns. He's not going to lead them in yards, most likely. But right now he is, and right now he's the second most accurate quarterback in the game. Yep. And every game this year, he has led the charge.
This, to me, was maybe the most impressive play of the game and also of Geno's season.
JSN shifts over from right to left. Now we've got slots on both sides. Walker in the backfield. The Lions rush 4. Geno steps up, breaks away, has time, pump fakes. Now he's going to throw midfield. Ball is caught. JSN first down inside the 40-yard line. What a shot by Geno, who avoided the trap, avoided the rush, that is. Got outside and then unloaded a bullet for 11 yards to JSN and a first down.
Evading pressure, and important that he had been pressured on the previous play, and that I thought was important context because already in your mind you're like, my offensive line's struggling a bit against this guy over here, Aiden Hutchinson. Already this offensive line is breaking down, this pocket's breaking down. It happens on the subsequent play. So already in your mind, you're kind of on edge, you're a little jittery. The next play, it breaks down quickly, and instead of panicking and instead of being like, oh, here we go again, it's just ducking, dodging, weaving, and then planting and finding Jackson Smith-Njigba for just a dart over the middle. That is command and it's confidence. And I saw that and I thought, this is not something that a bad quarterback does. Like, I don't care what anyone says about wins and losses and about Geno being 500 and Geno not being, I don't know, like Josh Allen, Patrick. Of course he's not. He's a different passer. But that is not a play that a bad passer makes.
No, I said yesterday, I don't know if it's on this show or the pre-halftime post-game. I did like 12 hours radio yesterday. I said Ken Walker is the type of guys that just makes plays right, even when they're wrong. And that's what Geno was last night. He makes them right. When the offensive line has their hands full from time to time because you're playing against one of the best pass rushers in the game, when you have to stand there in a drop back situation, a drop back is if you understand, it's a 5-step drop with a hit, you climb, you throw the football. Quick game, you're just pre-snap read, opening your hips, you're letting the ball go. It's the good quarterbacks operate well under pressure in dropbacks. They're able to get back there, get to that back foot. Nothing's there. The pocket is collapsing. You roll outside, you make a play. You extend the plays, you make plays right. That's what Geno did a bunch of times last night. He's been doing it all year. 4 games in, I have the complete confidence in Geno. He's going to have a bad game. It's going to happen. But, that play right there was crucial. You keep your offense going. You keep the play alive.
I think that there are still people that are going to carry a narrative, and this is going to happen no matter what. People are going to start looking at Geno, and instead of saying, wow, look at him growing and developing, because of the path he's taken to get here and the fact that he's going to be turning 34, the thought instead is going to be, how long can he do this?
Yeah, he's, 34? He's really like 30, 29.
No
that body doesn't have the wear and tear. And, I'm big ups in Geno, but you got to big ups Grubb as well. And, I mean, you're down 21-7. You have to abandon the run. You're drawing up plays, not drawing up, but calling plays that's attacking the soft spots of the zone. And then biggest to the receivers, too. The Detroit Lions, man, they were impressive.
They were.
On the back end, they were so physical. I know Terrion Arnold had, 3 or 4 penalties, but he also locked up receivers a couple times. It was a complete team effort on offense. And on defense, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, hey, y'all fought. You got a couple shots when you needed it. You didn't have your guys in there. Detroit's better. But if Geno isn't the calm, cool, collected guy that he is and Grubb not dialing up, this team has no chance.
All right, we are going to go over the plays of the game, including some plays that went wrong, and figure out what happened there coming up at 11 before we do the latest in an exclusive interview, the Mike McDonald Show Cuts. We'll go over some important bits and pieces we learned this morning from the head coach. Coming your way next.
When you're running the hurry up and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcast on demand.
How about that? Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
He is your new Seahawks head coach, Mike McDonald.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Find us on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
All signs continue to point to it being the right hire.
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Seahawks.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and I have had my share of sports injuries, and I know a little bit about pain. Well, that's what football will do to you from head to toe. But you don't have to play professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that's where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine comes into play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. That's right, your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your own body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
There's a lot of things I love about this Eastside Weight Loss Clinic program, and it's not just the 35 pounds that I lost in 8 weeks. That was big, but it's keeping it off. It's the sustainability, and this program does it better than anyone else.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike McDonald was on for an exclusive interview with Brock and Salk this morning. We learned about what he thought about this game, what he felt was, sticking with him in terms of the defensive performance, in terms of a really great offensive performance, and no injury updates, but they did ask. So let's go ahead and get to some of this. The big difference in this game for Mike McDonald.
Oh man, big difference was we didn't play well enough on defense, and they outplayed us on the offense. I mean, I think that's basically just what it came down to. And then, on offense, I thought we had some opportunities to capitalize on, and we got behind the sticks a couple times and couldn't convert. But the difference in the game was our defensive performance.
If there is a single critique I saw of Geno on social, it was people saying, well, I mean, you got to put the team on your back, and he couldn't. Yeah, Geno's not going to go out there and stop a 70-yard touchdown from Jameson Williams. He's not going to stop a 40-yard game from David Montgomery.
He's not going to fumble. He didn't fumble the ball.
He didn't fumble the ball.
He didn't run a route that referees called a pass interference.
Yeah.
He wasn't held in the end zone when DK should have been rewarded a pass interference.
Yeah,
It's
the
deeper than that.
difference was, yes, DK's fumble, some calls, but the defense just couldn't stop him.
Yeah, they could, man. So explosive plays over 15 yards is what I looked at. You got a plus 17, a plus 20, a plus 40, a plus 23, a plus 70, a plus 29, a plus 30. 7 plays, 229 yards. That's 32.7 yards per play. 4 of those plays were play action. 1 was a draw. 1 was horrible tackling. 1 was horrible angles. And another one was a screen. The defense. Now, there were some times where Mike McDonald and Dirty had a blitz just dialed up and slanted the wrong way. It was perfectly set up for Detroit, right? If I'm Jared Goff, I'm looking at the defense slants to my left. I fake the play action to my left, roll out. I'm butt naked on a Monday night, and my tight end's right there. Like, it was Ben Johnson did a great job calling the game. I mean, his plays were connected. Everything made sense. And then on the biggest play, the 70-yard game. Are we doing what happened? You said we're going to talk about
not that
play.
You can talk about it, yeah.
So on that 70-yard play, he caught him in a blitz. You know, you got your corners playing 2 out. Like you drop 4. You send 7. They caught you in a blitz. So the timing of things were perfect for Ben Johnson. He had to have felt like he was playing Madden online against some kid and whooping his butt because the timing of his play calling was beautiful. Then you compound that with just some poor angles and some bad tackling, and you get 42 points.
It reminds me of when Cardell Jones retweeted an article about him beating a kid at Madden that he was playing in the hospital by like 30 points, and he said, be real, I beat him by 35. An all-time tweet. Mike McDonald, sticking with the idea of what the defense did or didn't do against the Lions, said that change starts with him. He thinks he can call a better game.
It starts with me. We have to, I mean, look, anytime you're not playing at to the standard, quote unquote, or there's execution issues. I mean, the guys aren't trying to screw up. You know, they're trying to do the right thing, and I'm responsible for how they play. And so that's it. So it starts with the head coach, especially when I'm calling the defensive plays. So the plan needs to be tighter. We got to make sure we're asking guys to do things that they can do. I think I can call a better game in certain situations, kind of diagnose what's happening better in real time.
In terms of how the game was called defensively, was there anything you saw where you thought, I'm not sure this is working for him?
It felt like, I don't know the numbers for sure, but it felt like McDonald was more aggressive with his blitz. When he was with the Baltimore Ravens, only blitzed like 13.5% of the time, one of the lowest in the league, but still created the most pressure. I felt like this game, at least to start the game at least, he felt like he needed to get pressure on Jared Goff early, so he sent a few corners. It seemed like he was a bit more aggressive when it came to play calling. Yeah. Other than that, I feel like he is going to lean more towards of asking guys to do things they're capable of doing. Because when you have Boye Mafe out, Uchenna, Leonard, Byron Murphy, Jerome Baker, you can ask them to do things that you don't want to ask a Tyrese Knight to do or Gibson to do, and that's no knock on them. They're just different type of players. You call a game differently with different type of personnel. Of course, there are going to be times where he makes a bad call, Ben Johnson takes advantage of it. That is football. You're not going to call a perfect game, but I think his play calling was fine. I think he was a bit more aggressive. I think that it's more of asking players to do things that they're not comfortable doing.
He said that he saw some uncharacteristic communication mistakes and was asked to explain that a little further.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brock, because normally you say communication, it just sounds like you're a circus out there, you know, if you guys can't communicate well. And that's the case with us. But, you know, like when things move, are we on the same page? Are we able to anticipate when the picture changes, how we're handling it and stay ahead of plays? I didn't feel like we're ahead of the play last night. And obviously, you know, the big pass was probably the most glaring, but, you know, there were several others throughout the game where it's not like we're like mental errors. It just felt like we weren't ahead, which, you know, you want to be ahead of plays to give yourself the best chance to, you know, to win that down.
What that looks like is Baltimore's defense against Seattle last year when you thought, do they know the plays that Seattle's going to run? How is this happening? That's like elite communication in terms of every single player defensively for Baltimore knew what that play was going to be, dissected it at the same time, and got on top of it and held Seattle to 3 points. This one was a lot of catch-up. It felt like a lot of playing catch-up.
When he says ahead of plays, I think of Ben Johnson was ahead of the plays. He anticipated what the Seahawks were going to do, and he had an answer for it. I also think when he says ahead of plays, anticipating what the Detroit Lions are going to do, then also as players, like you have to pick up on some tendencies, right? You got to pick up on a movement from that guard when they're showing play action, a movement from that guard when they're trying to run zone, eyes in the backfield, trying to look at the play action. Easier said than done. Everything happens so dang fast. So being ahead of the plays means certain things. Him anticipating what they're going to do and getting lucky every now and then. Because there's a lot of prep that goes into this, but there's a lot of luck as well. You're looking at their tendencies, and this down and distance, they come out in this formation. These are the 3 things they like to do. Let's try to take away one of them, and maybe we guess right, and we're good to go. So maybe he felt like that's the way he was behind. But as players, I'm watching the film last night. I'm watching the end zone angle, and there are some times like the linebackers are flowing a bit too much, or the edge rusher is holding the edge, but then last second he dips inside and then creates a lane for the running back to go. So it was a team effort, man. It was a team loss. There were team successes. There were team failures, and I like that Mike McDonald is stepping out and reminding people, I'm the guy calling the plays. I'm the head coach, so it starts with me.
He was asked whether or not Detroit threw anything new at them offensively.
They do it like it's par for the course on how they've operated. They give you pictures that you've seen and kind of give you plays off plays, which they've always done a good job of that. They do a good job of scheming up the runs based off fronts. Their operation-wise is sophisticated, and it's tailored to like what you do through the lens of how they operate. Mm-hmm. So they got a good thing going there. But I mean, look, like a lot of everyone has so much invested in offense throughout the league. I mean, everyone has. You turn on the tape and it's like, oh shoot, all these teams present problems and issues because the variance is just it's not as wide as one might think, in my opinion. So you have to play your best football, every Sunday or Monday to have a chance to win.
I heard that as no, they didn't necessarily throw anything crazy at us offensively. Once again, like I said, per my previous email, we just did not execute and stay ahead of the play.
Yeah, I don't think the Lions came out on something and Dirty and McDonald are talking to the people upstairs like, what is that? What are they in? All right, hey, and we're going to halftime. Okay, well, this is the first time we've seen this. No, but that's what good offenses do. They put it all on film and say, okay, now you got to stop it because for every play that you see, we got 3 or 4 that we can roll off of that. There's a lot of similarities in every play that was ran last night for the Detroit Lions, and that's a clear sign of an offensive coordinator with a plan and with all of his weapons ready to go.
We are going to get back to a little more of this sound later. I do want to say that Mike McDonald at one point during his answer said, you think miscommunication, you imagine a circus out there. Joe in Bellevue would like to clarify for the coach who says, look, there's a massive misunderstanding that circuses don't have to communicate well. When you have a circus, they need to be in perfect synchronization so no one gets hurt. So you're right. There's an insult to carnies and to circus culture out there by Mike McDonald. I don't think he meant to do that. We're not going to cancel him for this, but you've been warned.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Get into plays of the game next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
They didn't get past the Lions. They didn't overcome the injuries. They didn't go on the road on Monday night and do what we sort of hope they might. But I think most people are still holding their head pretty high today. What say you?
Weekdays 6 to 10.
The Seahawks didn't quit, man. And Ryan Grubb, I mean, to me, that was probably, like, if you ask me one name, one person, one thing that stood out, Ryan Grubb's game plan was off the charts,
pretty
phenomenal
awesome.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Read up on the latest news and opinions at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Uh-oh. Looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A game. Talk to the Hawk. 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
Hey everybody, Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home, and what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
Now you probably noticed the temperature starting to fluctuate, and that gets even more pronounced at night. Is your insulation ready for the upcoming cold season? Let me guess, you haven't checked. You're like me, you don't want to go into your attic or your crawl space. Well, that's why Crawl Pros goes where you don't want to. It's Mike Salk here. They came out to my house for a free inspection and found my insulation wasn't up to snuff. So they showed me pictures of the problem, explained it, and then they got it all fixed. Now, Crawl Pros has partnered with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Don't wait for the temperatures to drop. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Again, if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
What's up, everybody? Michael Bumpus here. Are you looking for quality fencing? Look no further than Contour Fence. Locally owned and operated and serving the Puget Sound area since 1984. They specialize in residential and commercial fencing solutions, as well as fence repairs. Visit contourfence.com to learn more about their services and use the code HAWKS10 for 10% off any repair or replacement. Schedule a free consultation directly on their site. Contour Fence, your trusted partner in fencing solutions. Visit contourfence.com today.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Breaking this morning, Gonzaga will indeed join the Pac-12. The conference made the announcement this morning. The move adds one of the country's most respected men's hoops programs. However, even though the Zags are adding all sports, they still won't count as a full-time member because they don't have football. That means the Pac still needs to find an 8th member before the 2026 deadline. Despite Jared Goff's perfect game last night in Detroit, he was 18 for 18 against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Head coach Dan Campbell didn't give him a game ball. Speaking with reporters after, Campbell lamented the choice, saying, "I gave the game ball to somebody else. I feel so awful."
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. I read it in the snapshot just now, but if you're listening to the podcast, you won't hear it. So for those listeners that are going to be listening later, I feel kind of bad for Jared Goff. I really do.
Why?
Okay, so last night, Jameson Williams on offense, and then one of their safeties received a game ball from Dan Campbell. And then Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions, obviously, was speaking with reporters after and was asked about Jared's night. Like, hey, Jared was perfect, 18 for 18. And he goes, I didn't even realize it. I didn't give him a game ball. And I just imagined Jared sitting in this locker room. You know, when you think that you're going to be getting something or named for something and you're like applauding and keeping it really polite. Oh,
Right.
good for you. You know, you go, Kirby. And, you know, safety that got a game ball. And then it's and on offense. And you're like, here we go. Already holding out your hand. He's already standing up, ready to get it. Jameson Williams, heck of a 70-yard score. And then you just go, wait, what?
You know what? I think Jared Goff is the type of guy to laugh at that.
I'm sure.
And kind of move on. But yeah, he definitely was expecting it.
Oh, for sure.
He was like, I was 18 for 18, dog.
Yeah.
I was perfect
Just
last night.
staring at Dan Campbell
Like,
after.
okay.
like-
And I caught a touchdown.
Yeah.
What else do you need me to do,
What do you
coach?
want? Dan Campbell apologized profusely and felt
Oh,
so
man.
bad. Honestly, though, when you're the head coach, you got to kind of keep your eye on every single person. So, of course, he's looking at a safety and a running back going, man, the run really was the difference in the first half.
Right.
And our ability to stop it and also control the tempo. And so you go to your running back there, but just poor Jared. I'm sure being a multimillionaire helps, but
Yeah, he'll be
he
fine.
should have gotten a game
He
ball.
should have. They'll probably make him one, too.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we got you another one. All right. Without further ado, let's get to some of the plays of the game. Yes, unfortunately, a few of these are going to be Jared Goff highlights, but we're also going to talk about what went wrong in some of these. We're going to start, though, with the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith finding DK Metcalf for 20 early in the game.
First and 10 at the Seattle 23. 4 wide receivers. Slots to both sides. Ken Walker, the third, the single setback. Geno steps up, lets it fly far side. What a catch by DK! Far sidelines, are his feet in? Yes, they are! An absolutely perfect pass, far sideline. DK Metcalf stretches out, keeps his toenails in.
I wish I could say that this ended with a score. Unfortunately, this drive itself ended with a punt, so no highlight to come after this one. But it was a really great ability to connect early. Again, this was the first play from scrimmage for Seattle.
Now, I've watched every game in DK's career. I've never seen a catch like this from him. Over the top, hands get behind the football, toe tap on the sideline. This is 2 games in a row where I saw him catch a football in a manner that I'm not used to seeing him catch the rock. You can't necessarily always get better at catching the football, but he seems to be doing it in his career.
Now, it wasn't all highs for DK. While I have another play to get to that was really great, you also had DK fumbling.
3 receivers come near side with Noah Fant, the tight end, Bobo, as well as the backup tight end, Pharaoh Brown, all on the right side. Geno takes a shotgun snap, looks, throws a slant route far side. It's caught by DK. He's still fighting down inside the 35-yard line. I think his knee was down. The ball came out, picked up by the Lions. They've run all the way down the field. They're not going to call him down. They're going to say the ball was fumbled, I think.
This was a bummer for 2 reasons. First, the Lions had scored on a Montgomery 1-yard run the previous drive, so it's already 7-0. You're digging. You don't want to get into a multi-score deficit here. You had also been driving. So 1st and 10, you find Jake Bobo for 11. Another 1st and 10, you get DK for 8. And then you get offsetting penalties. Your 1st and 10, and you find DK for 14. It obviously would have converted. You would have been moving down the field. You actually got into a bit of a disagreement with Brian Walters about this one. What happened?
Yeah, it was me, Brian Walters, and Ray Roberts talking about this thing, and hindsight's always 20/20, right? You tell DK, when you got him the first down, you have to get down, and that was Brian Walters' perspective, and I respect it. But I also look at DK, and Brian, I go, Brian, you and I are not 6'3", 230 pounds that cannot break tackles the way that he does. I never want to take that away from DK's game. Can he be more aware and tuck that ball in maybe and be more secure? For sure, but at no time am I telling DK, hey, stop fighting for extra yards. Just secure the ball a little bit and you'll be good.
I also think the jobs for different types of players have to be a little bit different. Like if I'm Derek Young, I'm focused entirely on ball security and on not making a mistake. If I'm DK, I have a little more room to freelance, I think, right? Like it's kind of like, yes, protect the football, do what you can, but we also know that you're very powerful, you're a superstar, and you're going to try to fight
6'3",
for it.
230.
You know?
If I'm 6'3", 230, I'm not moving out of nobody's way walking down a hallway, let alone not fighting for yards on the football field.
All right, let's go to DK highlight here. I got a couple early ones. This one was initially ruled a 30-yard touchdown, then called back to the 1, but 29 yards.
Second down, Geno looks, going to throw, got a man open. DK, he is down at the, no, he's in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Took the official a while to put those arms up. He was looking to see if DK had hit the ground right in front of the goal line. He didn't. It was a 30-yard dart.
This was called a touchdown on the field. Then it was reversed. Instead, it's to the Detroit 1-yard line, a 29-yard gain. I have a Ken Walker touchdown in a second. But first, what you saw from DK on this play.
Yeah, so it was a two-receiver combo. He had a receiver on the outside of DK. DK was actually in the slot. The outside receiver runs a hitch. DK runs what you call a spray fade. So now, since that outside receiver runs that hitch, DK has the whole half of the field to kind of manipulate. He gets that wide outside release. He sticks at the line of scrimmage, gets the DB to stumble back a little bit, create that separation. Him getting that width doesn't allow the safety to get over the top. Geno does what he does and throws a dart.
All right, now let's go to Ken Walker. It's always easy for me to think, oh, how hard is it to get 1 yard? Because I've never played, and that's a fundamentally incorrect statement. But here's Ken for a 1-yard touchdown.
Geno from the shotgun. Walker gets it again. Runs into his own man. Now he's going to walk in. Untouched. Right side. Touchdown. Seahawks. He gets hit in the backfield. He bounces off. Sees the right side is wide open. Takes off and strides in untouched. And the Seahawks put their first points of the night on the board.
As a wise man once said, in any given Sunday, you got to fight for that inch. 1 yard is hard to get in the NFL. So what makes Ken's touchdown special here?
This is one of those plays where I mentioned that Ken Walker just makes things right. Nothing was there. He bounced outside. He has that speed, and he makes it look easy. That's harder than it looks, folks, for sure.
Everyone loves a trick play. How about this one?
Trip set right. Charbonnet out of the backfield. 3-man rush. Quick throw. Coming underneath, JSN on a quick throw, backside Charbonnet, down the near sidelines, first down. Wow, pull one out of the back of the playbook. A slant route to JSN, coming in from the right side. He makes the catch. Charbonnet is in the left flat, so it's a backwards pass that he throws to Charbonnet, who takes off up the sidelines and picks up 19 and a first down. Wow, what a design.
Hugely important about this play, it was on 3rd and 16.
Yeah.
Once again, facing 3rd and long, a hugely important conversion for Seattle. What happened?
This is one of those plays that you practice. I don't know what, like, the Detroit Lions ran it last week, so people are asking if Grubb got it from them. I've seen this play before. So it either happened in two ways. Either they took the play from the Detroit Lions last week, or this is a play that you just practice once or twice a week just in case you're in this situation. That's exactly what happened. So you got JSN who runs a slant, and now he's running across the field. JSN does a great job of selling that he is a runner. He has a decision to make. Either he hits Zach Charbonnet, who has to be behind him on the opposite side of the field, or if he can get the first down, you go ahead and get the first down. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's played in big games and Rose Bowls, like, he's not afraid of the spotlight. Man, runs across the field, tosses it to Zach Charbonnet. He's behind him, gets the first down. I told the boys watching the game last night, I said, this is where rugby and football come together. That is such like a rugby type of play right there.
All right, well, there are a lot of rookies we've been talking about this year. A.J. Barner's not been one of them. Easy to kind of float under the radar when you're not going to be a starter when there's so many superstars on offense. But how about this touchdown?
Geno under center. Walker, play fake. Geno rolls right, has time, dumps it into the flat. Ball is caught. Got it going into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. It's A.J. Barner, the Michigan product. The rookie tight end makes the catch in the flat. A 9-yard score, and the Seahawks once again draw to within almost 7. Right now it's 8.
Congratulations, A.J. Barner. He had a quietly really solid game. Had another big catch in here a bit later that we don't have because there are some other plays we want to highlight instead. But what do you make of him as a player, what he brings to the offense, and of this score?
Great score, man. It was clutch. I'm going to talk more about him in four-down territory, but you need these type of plays from young players, especially on offense, man. I feel like you can design plays for guys on offense to ensure they have success. On defense, you line them up, and then they got to fly around and make the plays.
Yeah. I filed these next two under plays called What Happened play. So these are not Seahawks highlights. They are Seahawks lowlights. Your task, what happened on this play? We'll start with Jordan Montgomery taking off for 40 yards.
1st and 10 for the Lions at their own 30-yard line. Play fake. Goff is going to throw. Looks deep. Now he comes off, throws shallow, bouncing off a one tackler. Still fighting is Montgomery. Still on his feet. Breaks another tackle down the near sidelines. And finally pushed out of bounds by Jennings. And that's unfortunate because at least 4 Seahawks had a shot at bringing Montgomery down, and they simply could not. That's just one hell of an effort by number 5.
David Montgomery, not Jordan Montgomery. I'm getting my sports, my athletes and my storylines mixed up here. A separate story about Jordan Montgomery. This one's David Montgomery. The run defense in general had been struggling for a couple explosive plays. What happened on this one?
Actually, the Hawks played this correctly.
Yeah.
He leaks off into the flat, and Witherspoon has done a great job kind of playing that gray area. He drops to the flat, allows him to get the football. Now he runs up and just tries to smack him, and that is part of Witherspoon's game. He wants to hit you, but sometimes you got to realize he's a $180. And that guy's a running back. Sometimes all you got to do is lower your pads, and boom, physics takes care of the rest. That's what happened right there. And I think that kind of shocked the defense because everyone's expecting Witherspoon to wrap him up, and then we'll rally. Then they see that happen. It was like somebody got shot. They're like, oh, dang. And then he takes off. But here's the thing about Witherspoon. He got up so fast and ran all the way across the field and almost made the tackle. This is the messed up part about football. Everything's recorded. He got to go to film, relive that. His boys are texting him.
Absolutely.
But do not stop playing with that aggressiveness. I love it.
All right, another What Happened Here play. This is a play that if I were watching and if it were 2 completely different teams, if it were the Titans and the Dolphins earlier, I'd be like, nice, awesome, real fun stuff. Because it happened to the Seahawks, instead I had to go, oh no, what happened here?
Montgomery stays in the backfield, tight trips to the left for Goff, who takes the shotgun snap. Now he's going to hand it off. St. Brown is going to throw back to Goff, who makes the catch, and he's in for the touchdown. And they caught Gibson for the Seahawks, the backside, outside backer, and he just got inside too tight, and Goff catches the ball for a 7-yard score.
What happened on this one other than Amon-Ra St. Brown looking kind of cool?
This is the influence of playmaking. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield. You give him the football. You have to respect it. The thing is, from our perspective, as soon as he got the football, you knew he was going to throw it.
Yeah.
You knew it. His body language set that off, but when you're on the field, you don't see it the way that we see it. So Jared Goff leaks out the backside. I think Gibson's right there to try to make a play, just not quick enough. And big ups to Gibson, man. We interviewed him last week. Good dude.
Yeah.
But just not able to make the play. This was another way Ben Johnson just took advantage of what was going on. When everything is working for you, everything has influence.
Okay, one more What Happened Here play. This one is the longest play of the day for either team. 70-yard touchdown from Williams. This ended up getting him the game ball.
1st and 10 at their own 30. Play fake by Goff. Blitz is coming. The throw, a crossing route, and there go the Lions. From the line of scrimmage, first play, it's going to be a touchdown reception. The Seahawks blitz. They don't get home. Nobody was covering. A 70-yard. Flags are down on the celebration. It was Jamison Williams who caught the pass on a crossing route in the middle of the field, and there was just nobody home to pick him up. Seahawks defense is really having some issues tonight against this Detroit offense.
Yeah, that classic one-play, 70-yard, 11-second drive that you just have in your back pocket. What happened here?
Man, I'm going to really get into it in 4 down. Yeah, butt naked on a Monday night. That's what
My
happened.
new favorite saying. Well, speaking, let's go ahead and get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Jared Goff, have a night. What were the Lions able to do that allowed Jared to have his most efficient day as a pro?
Man, they were able to control the line of scrimmage and get the run game going. It was really impressive watching these guys do what they do best, man. Pack it in and run the football. You saw 2 tight ends out there, an extra offensive lineman, and they set the tone. Like from the very first play, they told the Seahawks, we are going to make this a physical type of game. They got 2 running backs who are more than capable of getting it done. And the knock on Gibbs was that he wasn't really efficient running between the tackles. That is a dang lie. He was running in between the tackles. Montgomery was running in between the tackles. That set everything up. I said it before, I'll say it again. Football has changed a lot. The equipment has changed. The offenses have changed. But the one thing to be true is if you can run the football, you'll have control of the game. And that's exactly what they did right there. And Jared Goff is his mesh points in the backfield, his play action, him showing the football, tucking it away. He's not the most athletic guy, so he has to be great at things like that. So you have the influence of just having success running the football. Jared Goff being a magician with the football. Imagine playing linebacker in this league these days. It is tough, man. The offense was able to influence the defense because of the run, open everything else up.
Second down. What did the Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson take advantage of on their biggest play of the day?
So that was that 70-yarder we were just talking about.
Yes.
What happens is, all right, the Lions come out and they have 2 tight ends to the right, and they pack in Amon-Ra St. Brown next to him. You got 1 receiver to the left of Jared Goff. Jared Goff is under center. They've already had success running the ball, so the play action is good to go. What happens is 2 safeties, both safeties blitz. So essentially, you have 2 corners covering half of the field. It looks like they're covering a third, honestly. In the middle of the field is just wide open. On the side that Witherspoon is on, he's covering his third or fourth, whatever you want to call it. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he runs a post. So typically he goes, look, I have nothing else threatening me. I'm going to run with this post. Little does he know, Williams is going around the other side on the deep cross. So he catches him in no man's land. He's trying to stay on top of the post and got Reek Welling who passed the cross route over to Witherspoon. And when you try to start and stop against one of the fastest players in the game, you're never going to catch him. That's Ben Johnson dialing up the perfect play against the blitz.
Third down. We know the separations and the preparation. But what was the real separation between these 2 teams last night?
Last night, it was the little things, man. Like I'm watching the film and I'm comparing their O-line to the Seahawks O-line, their D-line to the Seahawks D-line. And obviously it's not a fair fight because you got some guys out. Right. But I'm looking at hand placement, their first steps, leverage, how they're driving their feet. The Detroit Lions are a team that has experienced success for the last couple of years, and you can see it. They are coached up. They're not afraid of the big moment. I was excited for this because now the Seahawks know, and Mike McDonald knows what a big game feels like. This was different than last year. Last year, the Lions were a good team. Obviously, they made it to the conference championship, but now there's a different type of expectations, and these guys are believing in themselves and what they're doing. It was a great test, but it's the little things, man. The technique was on point. The ability to sell things that weren't there or on point. This is a veteran type of team, and you can tell just by watching at the little thing. Just technique alone separated these 2, and then you add in the missing pieces, and the Lions win 42-29.
Staying on this topic for just another minute here, we did have a listener text in earlier on the Mac and Jacks text line saying, you know, I really think if the 6 defensive starters were out there that the Seahawks are a better team. And your in mine's automatic reaction was, no, I think the Lions are a better team, a better roster, but that doesn't mean that you can't put up a good fight. It doesn't mean you can't beat them. Exactly.
Doesn't mean you can't beat them.
Not at all.
And if you do have all your guys out there, it doesn't mean that you're going to beat them.
Right.
Because there are things that happen in a football game.
Yes.
And you made the point, we were talking off air, the best team in the league was who last year?
Baltimore.
They did not win the Super Bowl.
Nope.
That is why you got to play games, man. That's why you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the best team in football right now, but they're the one of 2 undefeated teams. Why? Because of their pedigree and their personnel and just the system that they have. When you have personnel, quarterback, a defense, all right, you start relying just on your system. You have a system that works. Andy Reid's system is proven. Ben Johnson's system is proven. That's why this game got me excited, because I go, all right, what adjustments are we going to make? You stood in there. 42-29 does not tell the story. You stood in there with the Detroit Lions with a defense that was beat up and an offense that put up record numbers when it comes to first downs, over 500 yards of offense, and you showed you can hang with them.
Yeah.
All right, now we get to learn. We get to learn from these situations. And Lions were due, man. Beat them 6 times in a row, 3 times at the
That's
house.
the thing.
You know, they were due.
And I think the Lions are just very sincerely a really, really talented team.
Yeah.
Like, they might be right now the best team in the NFC. San Francisco's incredibly banged up and has been struggling, and I don't know how soon they're going to get them in Minnesota. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be really, really tough. The NFC North, man. Holy cow. 4th down. Who do you see getting more and more involved in the Hawks offense?
Young man who had a touchdown last night. I'm talking A.J. Barner. He is his style of play fits what this offense needs to be. I'm not saying he's this caliber of player yet, or if he ever will be, we shall see. But I'm looking at Sam Laporta on that side of the football, and they're the same type of tight end, same type of capabilities. A.J. Barner has to grow and mature a little bit, but you're seeing his production increase as far as snap count, right? Week 1, he had 32 snaps, then he went down with 25 the next week, 18 against Miami. He's back up to 35, and they're putting him in these situations. They're designing plays. He was open several times. I think he, right now, is probably the more reliable tight end. We saw Farrell Brown drop a ball. We saw Noah Fant drop a ball. There's just something about the way that he catches the football and runs his routes that makes me believe he's going to be good to go. There's some guys who catch the football and it looks like there's a magnet on their hands. Like the ball just sticks. It looks natural. He's the most natural pass catcher in the tight end room we have on this team right now. I expect him to get more playing time and his numbers to go up.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We are going to open up phone lines at 1. Now, typically it is a Monday after a Sunday, but every single post-game show that we've had has been Who Gets Your Game Ball, because they've all been wins. We're not doing that this time. So obviously following a loss, the conversation is instead going to focus on something else. I'm thinking Geno Smith. Bump had a big proclamation earlier that Geno Smith is good enough that you can win a Super Bowl with him. Again, you got to have all the other pieces. It's not easy to get to a Super Bowl, much less win one. But that maybe we've been fundamentally wrong with the ceiling that we've placed on Geno Smith. That's going to be our topic coming up at 1 is Geno Smith. So, again, we're going to get to that. Coming up in 30, we're going to talk about what's sticking with us, what caught our eye in this game. We've got more from the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 11:45. Coming up next, though, taking a little bit of a break from the Seahawks, taking a look around the rest of the sports world with some good news from Major League Baseball.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Now, have you guys seen Ken Walker? Because he was really, really good last night. Clearly,
did that drop disappear, by the way?
Yeah, it's no longer in the system. Mora had it banned.
Mora, you killed that drop?
Yeah, sad. It's all gone now.
It's still...
She whitewashed it.
Have you guys seen Ken Walker?
That's so good.
Every time.
He was difference maker. Enough so, Brock, and not just him, but I am starting to wonder if the worm is turning on running backs all being replaceable.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the internet, and you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a Realtor can help answer. Because Realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what Realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Seahawks offense was impressive in the losing effort Monday night, putting up 516 total yards with 38 first downs. But the defense struggled with so many of the starters out injured. Mike McDonald acknowledged the lopsided performance on each side of the ball post-game, but he was happy with the overall resolve and effort of his team.
Offense was responding. Defense, we weren't able to get stops, especially in the second half. And there's a feeling that you see in the guys' eyes where, no one's hanging their heads. Everyone's just like laser focused, poised, just like we've talked about throughout the Denver game. And that's a characteristic of our team that we've had throughout the season. So proud of that. It's easy to start, looking around and woe is me type of idea, but that's not our guys.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and I have had my share of sports injuries, and I know a little bit about pain. Well, that's what football will do to you from head to toe. But you don't have to play professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that's where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine comes into play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. That's right, your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your own body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
What's up, everybody? Michael Bumpus here. Are you looking for quality fencing? Look no further than Contour Fence. Locally owned and operated and serving the Puget Sound area since 1984. They specialize in residential and commercial fencing solutions as well as fence repairs. Visit contourfence.com to learn more about their services and use the code HAWKS10 for 10% off any repair or replacement. Schedule a free consultation directly on their site. Contour Fence, your trusted partner in fencing solutions. Visit contourfence.com today.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
brought to you by 1-800-DUI-OA.
Taking a look around the rest of the sports world for the timeline, the top stories and trends that are going to be popping up on your own social media channels. We'll start with this one. Some good news for Major League Baseball. The American League and National League All-Star teams will go back to wearing their regular uniforms for the 2025 All-Star Game. The league will also go back to uniform material used in 2023 and will use a bigger font for the last names on the back of jerseys. Thank you.
That's what you call a halftime adjustment right there.
That's righting a wrong.
That's what you do because, look, I get – like when they were in Seattle, the colors and I get the theme, right? You want to connect the game to the city, but ain't nothing like having the all whites out there against the gray. And the NBA, take notes. Go back to it, man. Go back to home versus away, man. It allows people to really connect with their guys out there. You know, you don't have to look at the name or try to figure out who's who. You just, boom, that's my guy. I love this Major League Baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, Curtis is out today, back tomorrow, and I'm surprised that you and him wouldn't just suddenly go off for 10 minutes about this specific topic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is right up your guys' alley.
It is. Curtis,
unfortunately, it's not mine.
Curtis.
We're moving on. On a recent episode of the This Is Football podcast with Kevin Clark, guest Joel McHale and Kevin told sports broadcasters to get some new B-roll material.
Scoot, now that you have a couple months of distance from it, kind of what do you look back on about your rookie season and kind of what you learned from it?
I look back at the good food that I had.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound like Joel McHale. Oh, for some reason, it's the wrong cut in here. But basically, they just started yelling, stop showing the fish throw. Like, stop showing this with Pike Place.
I'm tired of that, too.
Can we please do that?
Yeah.
I've got that cut ready.
We need to stop that.
Okay. Can you go ahead and play that one?
I want to do a little bit of PSA here because every single Seahawks game or every Huskies game, they show the same fish market shot. Just the guy throwing a fish. And I'm begging broadcast to have a second shot of Seattle, Joel.
Could we throw a squid? Maybe, I don't know, maybe a jellyfish.
A jellyfish.
Starfish of some sort. You know, it's like when there's ever a game in New York, they start with, a sweeping shot of the Statue of Liberty. We could show some, some train tracks from there's like a light rail system that doesn't ever seem to be finished. We could show some of that. We've got a number of condemned bridges. I don't know if they could look at the cracks in the West Seattle Freeway.
You gotta show the ferries. You gotta show the money shot of Seattle, crossing the bridge on 5. You gotta show the boats on Lake Washington. There are other things that you could show that let people know Mount Rainier, you got to show Mount Rainier.
Literally anything.
Yeah, but I'm tired of I've been seeing that since like 92.
It's kind of like if someone was like, oh, Nirvana, get it? Seattle.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's
all right.
Grunge rock? Is that even a thing anymore, Matt? Is that did they make new music, new grunge?
I mean, it's always been terrible, but I guess they're still making new grunge.
I mean...
And they hit the top 40 in what, 25, 30 years?
Kurt Cobain is definitely not making new music, I'll say that. So I think that we just should basically find some new things to represent Seattle, even if it's like a shot of downtown. Yeah. Or like Joel McHale's making jokes about like, why don't you show other things like a rundown freeway overpass? I'm sure, but just literally anything else.
520 is the longest floating bridge in the world.
Yeah, show that.
Show the longest floating bridge in the world, Craig.
Show an orca swimming in front of the Ferris wheel.
Why you do your hands like that?
Because orcas have little hands. Well, they have little sea hands.
Okay, I get you now.
Flippers, if you will. I'm just saying.
I thought of penguins we did that, but penguins are down here.
No, I was thinking because the orcas, if you think about where their hands would be on their body, it would be like if you had hands coming straight, like if your wrists were connected to your shoulder blades is how I imagine orcas.
I get you.
But what I'm saying is diversify the portfolio when it comes to B-roll for Seattle. Come on. Moving on. Pigeons of the sea. Moving on. At the Portland Trailblazers Media Day, rookie Scoot Henderson had a very interesting response to being asked about what he learned in his rookie season.
Scoot, now that you have a couple months of distance from it, kind of what do you look back on about your rookie season and kind of what you learned from it?
I look back at the food, the good food that I had. Yeah, a lot of food. And what I learned from it. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
What?
That's what he learned.
That's what you learned. You didn't learn, maybe I need to put on 5 pounds. The game's a bit faster.
No.
I need to improve my mid-range shot.
No.
Maybe work on my Euro step with a lay. Food.
I learned, no, it's not even that. I look back at the good food and what I learned from it.
That is a young man that was not interested in that interview.
Not at all. I don't blame him. It's probably not like, all I ask for as a media member is like, please don't be too mean or rude to me.
Nah.
But I get it if you don't answer my question with something super insightful. If it's just like, this is all I can give you right now.
And maybe that's just his personality.
Yeah.
He's not paid to be a talker. He's paid to average 14 points a year like he did last year.
And look, I'm going to be real. The Portland food scene, real solid.
All I think about when it comes to food in Portland is that donut shop everyone goes to.
Voodoo Donuts?
Yeah.
So there's this place that I haven't been to yet, and multiple people told me to go there. It's called Screen Door, and it's like specializes in brunch and chicken and waffles and like Southern comfort food, but apparently it's just like off the charts.
Off the chain?
Off the chain and the charts.
And the charts.
It's off of everything.
That's a lot to be
It's
off.
not sticking to a single thing.
It's off it.
It's off it. Next up, Stephen A. Smith went off today on MLB in the wake of Pete Rose's passing.
People make mistakes. Murderers have been let off quicker than Pete Rose has. And baseball want to sit up there with its high and mighty hypocritical selves and literally denigrate this man. In 2016, he got in 1999, he got a standing ovation. Remember that, doggy, in Atlanta during the World Series? Remember that? They gave him a standing ovation. The American public said, bump all that. We want this man here. We know what he did for the game. We know he hurt himself. We know that wasn't a good look, but it shouldn't erase 23 years. And they 100%. Did it anyway. Pox on all their damn houses. Right? They better not make any mistakes. Don't forgive him, y'all. Don't forgive anybody in baseball who could have forgiven Pete Rose. None of them.
That's why you pay him.
I love it.
Put the MLB's all-time hits leader in the Hall of Fame, please, Stephen A.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to do it now that he passed away and not allow that man to enjoy it. People do make mistakes. People mess up. And that was what, in the 70s, 80s?
And he bet on didn't he bet on his own team to
win? It wasn't like he was trying to manipulate the game for these guys to lose. No, he wanted them to win. He's a dude who ran over the catcher in the All-Star game, man. He is a legend. I'm with you, Stephen A. Smith. They better do the right thing. They should have done it years ago, and they better put Bonds in, too, before it's too late.
Thank you. Put Barry Bonds and put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because I am telling you right now, I can't prove it. I have no evidence. I am just telling you, there are men in the Hall of Fame who have probably used performance-enhancing drugs or who have probably gambled. I don't know that people were gambling in the way Pete Rose did on his own, but still.
There are men in the Hall of Fame that are beating their wives every night.
There is someone in the Hall of Fame that may or may not have killed someone.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, we've looked aside when it comes to huge character flaws or violations of league rules. And when it comes to violation of league rules, there's, quote, evidence, I guess, that people have against Bonds, even though he never admitted to doing anything. And then obviously with Pete Rose. But it all depends on your definition of what the Hall of Fame should be. If to you it tells the story of baseball in different eras of baseball and some of the people that we've celebrated in baseball, then those two belong in there. If to you it is an honor code, honor roll system where only the very best and brightest get in after they pass all the baseball tests, then yeah, I guess
it's a baseball thing.
I guess they wouldn't get in there.
509 makes a good point. There are racists in the Hall of Fame right now. Like outwardly racist baseball players in the Hall of Fame right now. You do all these things for Black History Month, Latino Month. Let's bring all of our cultures together. And get Pete in there right now, ASAP.
I just think the Hall of Fame should be about telling the story of baseball, focusing on eras and the players we celebrated most. Pete Rose and Barry Bonds were two of those people.
Come on now.
Rest in peace, Pete Rose. All right, getting back to the Mike McDonald show. It's coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
They didn't get past the Lions. They didn't overcome the injuries. They didn't go on the road on Monday night and do what we sort of hoped they might. But I think most people are still holding their head pretty high today. What say you?
Weekdays 6 to 10.
The Seahawks didn't quit, man. And Ryan Grubb, I mean, to me, that was probably, like, if you ask me one name, one person, one thing that stood out, Ryan Grubb's game plan was off the charts.
Pretty
phenomenal
awesome.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Read up on the latest news and opinions at seattlesports.com.
All right, who spent the weekend crawling around their crawl space or attic? You? No? How odd. Your crawl space and attic can be out of sight and out of mind, but real issues can arise in there, especially in the fall months. And as these temperatures drop, rats, mice, other rodents are looking for a cozy place to make a little home and then reproduce. The result? A smelly mess and destroyed insulation. That's why Crawl Pros goes where you don't want to, certainly where I don't want to. It's Mike Salk here, and it happened to me. Crawl Pros came out to our house, did a free corner-to-corner inspection, identified those problems, told me what needed to be done, and then they fixed it all. In my case, they checked the attic, they found some rat intruders, plus some insulation that was old and not working as well, and they got it all fixed. While the rats are gross and can lead to some health issues, the under insulation, well, that's a cause of high heating bills in the winter. So call Crawl Pros before the cold, wet weather sets in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Paid political announcement. A Bob for Bob update. Did you know AG Bob Ferguson is responsible for Washington being the only state with a social media advertising ban on political speech? In 2019, Bob's lawsuits made Washington the only state that doesn't allow you to run political ads on social media. Voter beware, because Bob's vendetta against your free speech won't stop when Bob gets what he wants. Governor. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 1283 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors: Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
What does the Seahawks jersey mean? It's football.
Drops back, has time, loads up, throws. It's intercepted! Does he keep his feet in? He does! Seahawks ball!
It's community.
The stands are rocking right now. Nobody has left this place. It is pandemonium.
It's Seattle. This is your jersey. This is the Pro Shop. The Seahawks Pro Shop has the largest selection of Seahawks jerseys. Come try one on at the Landing in Renton or at Lumen Field.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and as you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm honored to partner with the Harnish Auto family and the Carol Milgar Breast Center in the fight against breast cancer. For every test drive this month, they'll donate $25 on your behalf. Simply visit any of their 6 amazing dealerships, including Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup, or Kia and Chevy of Everett. No purchase necessary. Just take a spin and make a difference. It's the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Before I get to these Mike McDonald cuts, Bump, do you want to respond to anything people had to say about the take that Barry Bonds and P. Rose should be in the Hall of Fame? The 425 saying, if you take steroids away from Bonds, he might not be good enough to get into the Hall. If you get rid of Pete's gambling, he was still the best all-time hitter. It's why I believe Pete should get in and not Bonds.
Go look at Bonds' number. We had a little head and a small body. Go look at him. And also, hitting a baseball is such a skill. It's a skill. I mean, yes, I guess being strong does have its advantages, but you still have to square it up. You still have to make good contact with it. Look at Barry Bonds' numbers when he was with the Pirates. I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah, I just think, again, there were plenty of people doing steroids at the time that Barry Bonds was doing steroids, or before, certainly, and they weren't putting up Barry Bonds' numbers.
Exactly. And everybody was doing it. It just took Barry Bonds to be like, all right, it's getting out of hand. He's too good. It's getting out of hand. Now we got to do something about it. But 100 other fools got in doing the same thing.
All right. Getting to the Mike McDonald show, a couple cuts I didn't get to. We got some offensive stuff here. We focused a lot about the defense. So if you missed the Mike McDonald show, it's going to be in the last half hour of Brock and Salk's podcast in full. That's hour 4 of their podcast. And then if you wanted to look to some of our takes on his defensive comments, that's going to be in the first hour of our podcast. So now we're looking at offense. His thoughts on the offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brock. I thought they played well. Again, it's like the kind of the theme of the night is like they battled, man. They battled. When you're in a drop back game, that's a massive stress on your guys, and they fought their butts off. I mean, I thought, and so talking about communication, that was probably our best communicated O-line game up to this point, with the looks that they were giving us and some of the pressures. I felt like we're all on the same page operation-wise. Other than the 4th down, I felt like we were clean and, in that environment, a loud environment. And, to do the cadence stuff that we're doing, I think, I thought the guys did a good job.
So Aiden Hutchinson, who leads the NFL in pressures by a lot, was still able to bring a lot of that pressure. That being said, Bump, I did have a listener earlier say, Stacey, I thought the offensive line was actually pretty solid. And I thought, making a good case. I mean, 3 sacks allowed, but it felt like a better performance. What did it feel like to you?
Yeah, when you look at the pocket, right, Geno's pocket wasn't as clean as Jared Goff's pocket. I think the offensive line did a decent job. You drop back 56 times to throw the football. You're giving this defense 56 opportunities to get after you. On the other side, Jared Goff dropped back 18 times. 12 of those were play actions, and you still sacked him 3 times. Geno dropped back 56 times. You sacked him 3 times. Mm-hmm. You look at the pockets, and you compare that, yeah, Jared Goff had more space, but it's also because he kept the defense off balance, or Ben Johnson did, to where you couldn't just dial up and say, they are going to throw the football because they are down by 3 and you're halfway through the 3rd quarter. No, with the Lions, they had more control over the situation and could manipulate the defense. So when you look at it from that point of view, and you understand that the offensive linemen had their work cut out for them because you're in a drop back and throw type of game, I think they did a decent job. There are certain situations you can isolate and look at and say, well, they didn't fan block. There's one situation where you got three guys on the right side of the offensive line, and then the safety walks down the blitz. You're supposed to naturally fan that, and that means the guard and the tackle push out to handle the outside two, and then the Mike blitzes, the running back picks that up. Miscommunication there, and they don't get it done. You're going to find little situations like that. For the most part, they did okay. And just Aiden Hutchinson just makes grown men look like children sometimes.
That's right. Let's get to some of this officiating. Mike McDonald asked whether it was frustrating.
Man. I mean, like, I'll just say this, like 2-point conversions, those are high leverage plays. So when the calls don't go your way, I mean, you're going to be, you wish they went your way. So in the moment, I mean, yeah, like there's nothing you can do. They're not going to pick up a flag off the ground because you're upset. Best we can do is get a proper explanation on why, so we can prevent that moving forward.
The Lions were the better team last night and outperformed the Seattle Seahawks, particularly the Lions offense against Seattle's defense. That being said, in a game in which Seattle, a very banged up defense especially, could afford no errors, calls not going your way, especially ticky-tacky calls or like a 2-point conversion that didn't stand when it should have, that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. But Mike is right. Like, you have to find a way to keep your composure, because I've never seen a referee hear a coach yelling at him and say, "You're right. I'm going to pick this flag up,
You
coach."
make a good
You
point.
make a heck of a point, and I might have seen that wrong. What did you see, coach?
Right.
Okay, let's get that in. The part that upset me about the DK thing is that was reviewed, and we have the same replay angles that these referees have who are assisting the referees on the field to make this call, and yet they still got that wrong. There was nothing in that play that made me think that was not a 2-point, or the 2-point conversion wasn't good. That was frustrating, because that changes the game. It was a gamble that Mike McDonald and Grubb took in that situation, and they should have been rewarded for that gamble, but they were not. But you must move on and keep playing football.
I really like what I've seen, not just last night from Seattle's offense, but take the first half of week 1 out, and I really like a lot of what we've seen from Seattle's offense from Ryan Grubb, whether it's, when he decided to get tight ends involved, whether it's sticking with the run when they know they need to really cement that and establish it, in 2 second halves against the Broncos, sticking with the run and having it pay off, against the Lions, having the run pay off in the second half. I really liked the approach. Obviously, there's a lot of this offense that hasn't been laid out yet. So Mike McDonald was asked if the offense for Ryan Grubb is playing out the way he envisioned it.
I'd say it's coming to life. I think it's on par with where our football team is. It's just it's kind of like envisioning a horse race where you kind of one horse kind of takes the lead, one kind of slows down, then the other one kind of accelerates and makes a big jump in progress. And like in all aspects of our football team, including our offense and Ryan and getting used to like his new staff and the NFL defenses. I mean, this is the first time that he's going against these coordinators. So how he's able to, utilize the staff, kind of gain all this information. That's where we're at right now. And I think he's part of that. But I'm excited about him.
I'm excited to see what this offense still has to bring. Does it look, Bump, the way that you were hoping it would this early? I mean, what are some of your early takeaways now 4 games in of Ryan Grubb as offensive coordinator?
I love it. It looks exactly the way I thought it would look and better, honestly. The part that impresses me the most about the offense is not even the plays that he's calling. It's the timing of the plays. He gets the plays in so early. There's so much time for Geno to take in information. The more information you can give a quarterback pre-snap, the better he's going to be. So you're getting plays in with 15, 16 seconds left. You're allowing Geno to look at the defense. You're motioning to identify man or zone. You're allowing the Geno to play with his cadence so the defense declares whether they're blitzing or not. That also helps the offensive lineman. You're allowing Geno to get up to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't like a play. I'm convinced Geno's getting 2 plays a lot of the time. He's getting 2 plays. He's lining up. He's looking at it. Shifts, motions. Let's count the numbers in the box. All right, let's run it or let's throw the ball here. It's all about allowing your quarterback to take in as much as possible. That's what Grubb, to me, is doing the best. Now, his concepts are his concepts. I mean, I went into this year knowing that mesh was going to be big, deep cross, shallow cross was going to be big, and he's going to take the short stuff when you can. You get one-on-ones on backside, he's going to take his shot. He's connecting these plays. He's putting it together. He's allowing his quarterback to diagnose the defense and make good decisions.
The full Mike McDonald show is available on hour 4 of the Brock and Salk podcast. Coming up next, Bump and I taking a closer look at some of the tiny moments in this game that are sticking with us the next day. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Now, have you guys seen Ken Walker? Because he was really, really good last night. Clearly,
Did that drop disappear, by the way?
Yeah, it's no longer in the system. Mora had it banned.
Mora, you killed that drop?
Yeah, sad. It's all gone now.
It's still.
She whitewashed it.
Have you guys seen Ken Walker?
That's so good.
Every time.
He was difference maker. Enough so, Brock, and not just him, but I am starting to wonder if the worm is turning on running backs all being replaced.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and I have had my share of sports injuries, and I know a little bit about pain. Well, that's what football will do to you from head to toe. But you don't have to play professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that's where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine comes into play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. That's right, your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your own body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
As Lennox Premier Partner, Home Comfort Alliance has a long history of 5-star customer satisfaction. Get a dependable, energy-efficient new heat pump and save up to $4,000 when you mention the Curly Cash discount. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor? Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? we can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ready to take your Seahawks game day to the next level? From pregame sideline passes to postgame field goal kicks, create unforgettable memories with friends and family this season at Lumen Field. Visit Seahawks.com/game day experiences to level up your game day.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Breaking news this morning, Gonzaga will indeed join the Pac-12. The conference announced that themselves today. The move adds one of the country's most respected men's basketball programs to the Pac. However,
Michael Bumpus and Stacey Ross.
Here we go now.
after every single Seahawks game, Bump and I think about the 3 moments for each of us that had us just kind of stuck the next day. Maybe it changed our mind about the game, about a certain player. Maybe it was a make or break moment in the game. Just the things that really caught our eye. I always love doing these for home games because you and I attend the home games, so we get to watch the sideline, and usually most of my observations are about like, hey, I saw this player talking to this player, and then this happened. It just kind of takes you there. It's a little tougher when you're watching on a broadcast, but we've still got those moments, so let's get to it with what caught my eye. Bump, what you got?
What caught my eye? DK being held in the end zone and not having a flag thrown.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. What are we doing? I mean, it's clear as day. These referees, man, they need some assistance. Maybe it's hard for them to see it in real time. There's a lot going on, 22 players on the field. They got to break stuff down. But that's why we have cameras. Why aren't we using all of our resources to make the game as efficient as possible? If you just go to the guys upstairs, there are referees upstairs who looked at that and said, yeah, they probably should have called that. Go ahead and call it, man. Go ahead and call it. I want to make pass interference challengeable again. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Please.
That's what we should be talking about when we talk about changes in this country.
Changes. Make pass interference reviewable.
You know what I mean? I feel like we didn't give it a fair shot. We had it as
1 year.
And it was obviously heavily inspired by that Rams-Saints game, and it should have been because that could have ultimately been the call that kept the Saints from going to a Super Bowl. Obviously, we never know what would have happened after that, but it did affect the outcome of that game. It's impossible to say that it didn't. So it was right to introduce it as a challenge. Maybe what we should have done is make some tweaks to how it can work or how you can challenge it.
I know how to fix it.
Tell us.
Don't do it in slow motion, real time. Have them watch it in real time.
Just let's go. Pick it up.
In the slow motion, you can call a penalty on every play if you look at everything in slow motion. All right, but did the DB really affect the wide receiver? You played in real time, and if you see it in real time, you're good to go. But slow motion killed pass interference being reviewable.
It's so easy to see calls as not benefiting your team when you're kind of tracking one team. Few people enter a game and just, I'm rooting for everyone to have fun. Do you feel like, though, that the majority of calls kind of went against the Seahawks or didn't benefit the Seahawks, or non-calls? Was this a game in which penalties did ultimately benefit the Lions?
Lions had 12 penalties for 101 yards. Hawks had 9 for 70. So the referees were calling penalties both ways, but I think it was like just the crucial moments at which they called those penalties. And 2 of the bigger ones, they were absolutely wrong. The PI on Lockett, offensive PI, and then that one in the end zone. There was a pass interference that they called on the veteran corner against DK. That was bull. I'm shaking my head. That was not a penalty. So they got things wrong, but I think the more crucial ones were against the Seahawks.
Very related. My first what caught my eye. Yours was about DK, who absolutely was not. He got a no call, and it should have been a call. I'm also going to second DK was not the beneficiary of being called inbounds when he was definitely inbounds. Why this is also catching my eye, though, is that Mike Macdonald has shown a willingness to be aggressive somewhat early in games. And we saw that in week 1, right? We were already talking about whether or not he's leaning into analytics with some of these decisions. He was asked why they went for 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does favor going, without going through all the numbers, it does favor going for 2. Just play it out. You get, at some point, you get 2 opportunities to get a 2-point conversion, which about evens out. You get both. Or I'm sorry, if you get the first one, now you just need the touchdown, and that's a path to winning the game in real time. If you get 2 opportunities for a 2-point conversion, if you only get 1, now you're looking at going to overtime, and now you're still at a 50-50 proposition about winning the game. So that's kind of the numbers behind it. Our philosophy is really game to game. So going into the game, we're not like hard set either way, but just the way the game was going and how frankly, our defense was playing, I just felt like our offensive move was all pretty good. I just felt like, hey, if we had a chance to win this thing in regulation, let's do it.
I liked the decision to go for 2. They needed to go for it on 4th late in the game. I still really love that decision. I liked the decision to go for it on 4th and in some other games this year. Like, I like it's not overly aggressive, not Dan Campbell over here on the sideline being like, this is our identity, which I love. But I like the willingness to do it, and I liked the call there. I thought it was the right call there, and it should have been a 2-point conversion because DK was in. Yeah,
he was in. They made the call, and they were right. The reason why I didn't mind it. Me personally, I would have taken the 7 and moved on. I just don't. I'm not as aggressive in that manner. But the reason why I liked or didn't mind it was because of what he said. The defense was playing poorly. They're like, look, if we can get this 2 and then we score a touchdown, we're going to be up. We're going to be up. We're playing for the future, not for right now. So I'm not mad at it, man. I know a lot of people are going to have their feelings about it, but because it obviously it didn't count. But if he did make it, he would have been a genius. The logic makes complete sense to me. Me personally, I would have taken the 7, though.
Yeah, and we're washed. I don't play with I'm not a gambler, I'm not a risk taker, but I like a willingness to go for it in a game that you might be playing behind. So
yeah, he felt the identity and saw the identity of the game.
Yeah.
And said, they are moving it against our defense. Our interior defensive lineman is getting the push that we like. Let's go ahead and try to give ourselves an advantage.
All right, what you got next?
All right, man, what caught my eye? I'm looking at DK Metcalf. And I'm watching the way that he is catching the football and running his routes. Me and Brian Walters have been watching DK for years now and appreciate the growth that he's had when it comes to hand selection. So hand selection is the way you decide to catch a football. There are some ways that you position your hands according to where the ball is placed that gives you a better chance to catch the football. I've seen that improve with DK. I would still love to see him attack leverage more in his release. So there was a play where a DB broke a pass up on a slant, and the DB had an inside shade on him, slightly inside because he's playing man. And what DK did was he just went straight up the field and left the DB inside. So now when you make that slant move, DB has the advantage. What I love to see him start doing is stemming inside, then getting vertical. You stem inside, get vertical. You get inside that inside eye of the DB. Now when you snap it off, you have the advantage. The DB can still make a play on you, but you're giving yourself an advantage. I think the more DK starts doing that, he'll have even more success. But I've been so encouraged by the way he's deciding to position his hands when he's catching the football.
You already had a very high opinion of DK Metcalf entering into the season. He's also entering into a unique year because he's eligible for a contract renewal / extension at the end of this season. He's still got one more year, but it would be the final year of a deal. So by the time the season ends, most especially if DK has like 1,300 yards, everyone's going to be talking about a DK Metcalf extension.
Right.
You earlier in the show said that Geno has, even though you had high expectations, impressed you. Do you feel the same about DK, who became the first Seahawks wide receiver ever with back-to-back 100-yard games?
Yeah, no, I'm the way DK is playing right now, I'm all for it, man. I mean, you're going to need a DK Metcalf to have success in this league. Even if you are a run-heavy type of team, you're going to need someone to push the ball down the field. Lots of football to be played. But right now, man, he started the season low-key, 29 yards, then a buck 29, then back-to-back 104 performances. I think DK's in a good place, man. He's still finding ways to improve in year, 4 or 5 in his career. Is it 5? How long have you been in the game?
2019 drafted?
2019, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them things.
Wow.
I haven't quit.
We're getting older. Next up, it was really, really nice having Ken Walker back, and I thought heading into this one, Stacey, lower those expectations. This guy's getting back after being gone with an injury, and those injuries can be kind of weird. You never know if he's going to just need to get his legs underneath him, no pun intended. And it was a slower first half where the primary difference between these two teams was ultimately the run. Seattle had, I believe, more first downs in the first half, more total yards. They were playing like the better team with the exception of being absolutely unable to get the run going and then being run all over. It was something like, 15 yards to 80 yards on the ground or something. That changed in the second half. Ken Walker with 3 rushing touchdowns. I know that this wasn't a game where he went off for like 160 yards or had some absolutely miraculous day, but is so noticeable, the difference when you get your starter back, when you get someone who knows this offense and who can make those differences. And the specific play that caught my eye was that little like wrestling move that was pulled on him where then he flips it and is able to stand back up. Just unreal quad strength. I got to get to the gym. Talk about gym inspiration.
I saw that and I go, I want to know his squat numbers, his deadlift numbers, his power clean, his hand clean.
Let us know the secrets.
It's that's ridiculous, man. For him to, I told the guys watching the game, he looked like a toddler in a swimming pool, you know, just doing flips and stuff and moving all crazy.
That's wild.
Like, how do you do that?
What is gravity to you?
It's amazing, man. He's a game changer. And no, he didn't go for 100 yards, but he still had 3 touchdowns and averaged 6.7 per carry. You will take that every day of the week. The key for this offense, the next step for this offense, is 1, hope that Ken Walker stays healthy, and 2, keep figuring out ways to be successful with the run early. Therefore, the playbook is open. That's exactly what Detroit did.
All right, what's next?
All right, what stood out to me, man, what caught my eye, you just have to do your job. No one else's job. Just do your job. And sometimes when you're taking initiative and you're trying to help out, you're actually hurting the team. And I think that's what happened on that 4th and 3 when Connor Williams decided to snap the football. I get what he's doing. He's a savvy veteran. He is aware. He's looking at the play clock. He's saying it is 4th down. Me personally, I'm saying, take the delay of game penalty if you're not ready. Now it's 4th and 8. I actually don't mind them being backed up 5 yards because it allows more space for you to throw pass concepts in there. I think Connor Williams trying to do the right thing ended up being the wrong thing. I also think that the communication on the sideline might have been off a little bit because Geno's looking at the sideline, McDonald's walking down towards the referee. It just didn't seem smooth in that moment, and that's where you need it the most. But I also see that as an opportunity to learn and to grow. You've been in that situation before. I bet you they're going to talk about their process, their procedure, and it's not going to happen again. But sometimes you just have to do your job, man. I know you're the center, and you essentially can control the snap, but if you don't hear that man behind you give you the signal, don't do it.
Do you think any part of that is a veteran center who's thinking like, oh, I know better, and so I'm going to like help out my
That's
quarterback?
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
In theory, he was doing the right thing. Don't want to waste a play right here.
Yeah.
In reality, nah, because 4th and 8 is just fine. You'll be good from 4th and 8. Just let your team have an opportunity to be set up to execute. It's all about execution. If your team is not ready to execute, the chances just go down. And we saw that. 3 receivers standing in one space. Geno looking to the sideline. Tyler Lockett looked like he made up a route on the spot. It just wasn't ready. You can't be sloppy in those moments.
All right, next up. What caught my eye is the month of October. So I actually had a different one. I was going to talk about Julian Love's leadership from the sidelines and just how I've been blown away by him as a leader for this team all year long. Shouts to Julian, but I'm actually going to skip that one. And instead, I'm going to look at this submitted by a listener. The Seahawks are going to be playing 3 games in 11 days. So counting yesterday, that Monday night loss to the Giants, to the Lions, they're going to have a game against the Giants coming up on Sunday, obviously the 6th, back here at Lumen Field. And then also at Lumen Thursday night on the 10th, just 4 days later, they're going to be taking on the 49ers. Why does this matter? Because 3 games in 11 days is a lot. That's a lot. And you've got 5 huge injuries you are tracking. I'll add Julian Love to that. But what's going to happen with Boye Mafe? Is Uchenna Nwosu going to make his debut? Are you going to get Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams back out here? I have no idea, but you've got a game on Sunday. You are 5 days away.
Yeah, the turnaround is going to be quick, and then the bye week isn't until week 10, which I actually like. I like the bye week being at week 10, dang near the middle of the season, if there is one. But this is, you're not the only team that's going to have to go through this. There are going to be several teams that are in the same situation. That's why it's important that you just take care of Sunday. You take care of Sunday because you know that the Niners are going to be a bit more healthy. We'll see what Chris McCaffrey. I think he has a few more weeks before he can come back. But Debo was healthy last week. George Kittle looked good last week. Take care of business so you're ready on a Thursday. But now this is up to the coaching staff to manipulate the schedule. All right, when do we give these guys rest? Is it a cap day? Is it a mental day? You're going into week 5. You pretty much know what each person can do. You don't need them to prove themselves by putting on the pads and tackling and thudding up and all that stuff. No, just make sure you're mentally ready to go, and these guys should be good against the Giants.
All right, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
In the other Monday night game, the Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12. What's the real headline?
Has anyone heard from Lefko this morning? I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Very
Lefko.
concerned for resident Titans fan Mike Lefko.
He's chocolate wasted right now or something. You know.
He's just so desperately sad. I had no interest in this one whatsoever. I forgot to inform you, while I will watch any football game that's on, I did not tune in to watch this one prior to Lions Seahawks kicking off. I was like, I think I'm going to do laundry instead.
No interest. None at all. Will Levis is a character.
He's still the starter.
He's a character. But, hey, Mason Rudolph went out there 9 for 17, a whopping 85 yards. The Miami Dolphins, you see that clip of Reek Hill on the sideline just yelling on the sideline?
Can you tell me what happened? Because I saw a still, but if I play it on my computer, then you guys all hear it on air, so I didn't play it.
He's essentially complaining about the play calling, and Mike McDaniels is just, like, ignoring him. Like, Reek isn't talking to him, but it's like he's talking about the offense behind him, and Mike is just straightforward. This is the most adversity Mike McDaniels has experienced over here with the Dolphins. That's how important a quarterback is. The Dolphins, y'all better go ahead and try to get Russell.
Man.
Go ahead and get Russell.
I just think it's going to cost them so much. And there was that separate report that Russell's calf injury may actually be more serious than we anticipate, which is
You going to Germany with McCaffrey?
Huh?
McCaffrey's in Germany working on his. Say Russell can go
like they could go there together and be like calf brothers. Let's do this Regenikine treatment, brother. Yeah, I think that they, you know what's weird about concussions is I think back to your boy D. Eskridge, your nephew D. Eskridge, and how he was out for what, like 10 weeks? I mean, his was an extended period of time, and it was kind of a freak accident too. Like he had to go to like an eye doctor during that time, like was having all kinds of issues. Like, you never know. I think we're so used to, like, a concussion. Once you pass protocol, you can bounce back. You know, it's a traumatic brain injury. Some guys could take a long time, and I hope that that's not the case for Tua. Now that Seattle's played the Dolphins, I really don't care, you know, if they continue. If they win. No, I'm saying if they win and do well.
Come on, Stays.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, now that the Seahawks have played the Dolphins, I don't care if they rattle off 10 wins in a row.
Right.
Good for you. I hope that happens. So I hope that he's able to come back sooner, but I do wonder what intel they might have, because I kind of would want to see a trade too. Like, give someone else a chance to go in there and play.
Yeah, I want to see the Dolphins like at full tilt. You know, they were 11 points per game. 11, the Dolphins. Makes no sense, but that tells you just how important a quarterback is. I know people talk about the offensive line, the defensive line, for sure. They control the game. But if you do not have a person who can throw the football efficiently, you do not stand a chance in this league.
Headline rewrites.
Gonzaga officially announced they'll be joining the Pac-12 on July 1st, 2026. What's the real headline?
Only 4 more teams until the conference name doesn't feel like an ironic insult.
I mean, what? The Big 12 got how many teams? 16 of them things?
But when you have more teams than you have, then it's like, we just have an embarrassment of riches here. Pac-12 is about to like maybe get 8. I hope they do. I really hope they do. They have, I believe,
all we need is 8.
Summer 2026, right?
Let's take it back to the 70s. You know, the Pac-8.
Yeah.
You know, it's a retro league. It's a throwback league.
Maybe it was better that way.
Maybe it was.
Gonzaga will be added in all sports because they do not have football. They don't count as a full-time member, so they count as adding it. It's a huge boon for the men's basketball just outlook, obviously, of the Pac. However, they don't count as a full member, so you still need that 8th school.
Yeah, what's cool about Gonzaga joining is that San Diego State, good basketball program. Boise State, I think their women's had a decent program. So you need someone to kind of carry the torch, man. If you can get, I think they were looking at New Mexico as well. New Mexico has a good basketball program as well. You can low-key have a little, you know, a little saucy little basketball conference over here. But it's about football, so go ahead and get yourself a football team.
Can I bring in something so unrelated from the Mac and Jack's text line?
Of course you can.
Do you already know what I'm going to say?
Probably. I'll be reading the text. What
okay, so it was someone who said that I was campaigning against hiring Mike McDonald.
Oh, yeah, that's so false.
So it's very false, but I do want to say something. I think that any time in general we have conversations where race is at all brought in, it A, becomes incredibly touchy, B, and people take things really personally. So I don't know if that's what's happening here. I mean, this is a good faith listener. He or she just brought it up as a question, being like, didn't you campaign against? What I was saying is the Sean McVay effect, which has been written about extensively, is just the idea that one thing worked, and so people try to copy that idea for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
So Sean McVay worked because he's brilliant. Sean McVay didn't work because he was like a 30-year-old white guy. But what teams tried to do is just be like, let's just find that guy. And so you kind of copy the wrong things instead of trying to find someone who's an offensive genius in the same way. And sometimes finding an offensive genius doesn't work, right? Like Cliff Kingsbury, really smart offensive mind.
Yeah.
Didn't work as a head coach because Sean McVay is also a great leader who's able to manage a team the right way. So my point was that there are a lot of teams who for a period of time tried to just find the next Sean McVay and we're copying some of the wrong things.
Right.
What I'm not saying is like that hiring a 30-something-year-old white guy is somehow a mistake or bad because he's white. And I think it was conflated.
Yeah. Nah, it was,
It was about teams trying to copy one approach.
When you spit as many words per minute as we do,
Let me tell you what.
There's going to be room for people to not really taking the message the way that you intended it to be received.
Yeah, well, and on a related note, like there are teams that will, if Mike Macdonald takes off, continue. Like it's about a trend.
You know what else is going to be the trend?
What works is young coaches.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they're going to find old quarterbacks after Sam Darnold and Geno do their thing.
Trend. Once one team finds what feels like a blueprint, you try to copy the blueprint, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think that what happened is with Sean McVay, there were some teams that were like, let's find our version, and they went and got a smart guy who felt like a blueprint of that, but just didn't have some of these intangible qualities.
There are so many coaches who know the game, X's and O's, but teaching it and leading are
Shane
two
Waldron.
different things.
I know he's not a head coach right now, but like you know Shane Waldron.
Sit
like
down
he's
with
a
Shane.
Smart guy.
He knows the game.
Right.
Like it's not an accident he is where he is, but there's other things that you need to have to lead grown men.
I know, and I think that people. One of the questions we had about Mike Macdonald was, does he have those things? He's only ever been a coordinator. It'll be very fascinating to see how he handles adversity and what happens if players don't buy in and what happens if you have guys that were like, I love Pete Carroll.
Right.
Like, who are you? You're not my dad.
Not my dad.
You're not my dad. Anyways, I'm also holding off a little bit because our final headline is one of our first stories.
Just saw Lefko sighting. Lefko sighting.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah, he's good.
He made it. Let's ask what he thinks about Will Levis. We'll run into the kitchen and try to track him down and ask how he's feeling and how Titans fans are feeling today. Not that we care. Best of luck to you guys. We're also going to talk about why, despite an 18 for 18 night for Jared Goff, he did not get a game ball after yesterday's game. That's next.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
What'd you see from Geno?
Right, played a really good game. They gave him some hard things. The way they rush and like with Aiden there, you don't have forever back there. And so he's making fast decisions. I think our guys are getting their spots well. In the way the game played out, we needed him to do that. But the guys did what they needed to do to keep us, alive, keep us in the game. And there's a path to win the game. You got to give our guys credit for fighting it out the whole time.
Don't miss the Mike Macdonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the internet, and you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Upgrade your furnace or heat pump with Home Comfort Alliance. And for a limited time, save up to $4,000 in combined rebates or enjoy 12 months, same as cash, no interest financing on a new Lennox system. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
Don't waste time trying to get rid of your old or broken down car. Cars for Kids is the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's cars with a K. carsforkids.org.
Research shows well-maintained trees significantly increase home values. So there is such a thing as a money tree? Find your next money tree at Big Trees, Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. So while money doesn't grow on trees, reap the benefits of a yard landscaped with trees and increase your property value at the same time with Big Trees. For hours, directions, and to find your money tree, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily. Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Ken Walker had a big impact on the Seahawks' offensive performance in his return to play Monday night with 116 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns, and an incredible highlight reel play where he was tackled and flipped around by the defender twice and somehow managed not to touch the ground. Geno Smith spoke about what it means to have him back post-game.
Oh, man, he's special. He's special, man. You see the plays that he's making. I don't think any other running back could, do some of the stuff that he's doing. I mean, I'm surprised every time he makes, one of those just crazy plays. And, to have him and Zach back there, to have that one-two punch and to be able to utilize both of those guys within our offense, it just makes us that much better. And so just having Ken back, man, it's great. I just enjoy having him on our team.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we are going to start with Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions. Really, really likable, and quite frankly, a team and a coach that I'd root for on any day except for that Monday night game against Seattle. Did not give a game ball to Jared Goff.
Yeah, well, I just gave the game ball to somebody else, so I feel awful right now. Yeah. No, I knew he played a heck of a game. I did not realize he was perfect. I did not know he was literally 18 for 18. But I knew he played really well. You could feel it.
Let me tell you what, Dan, if the broadcasters weren't saying it every 2 seconds, I also wouldn't have realized he was perfect because Geno was having a really stellar game and the Lions' run game was just kind of taking off and finding holes with the Seahawks defense. Only when Jared was like maybe around like 14, 15 was I like, oh, it's interesting.
The way I watch a football game, when I'm working, I got my iPad, my laptop, and I'm constantly refreshing, looking at stats.
Like Smart House.
And I was like, oh, he's 6 for 6. Oh, he 9 for 9. Oh, he 12 for 12. Somebody hit this man. Stop. He can't keep getting away with this. What is going on here? The play action game's on point. Look, I'm not a hater, man. Jared Goff had a game, and this is the game that he needed to beat the Seahawks. And he knew he needed this game because his season hasn't been the greatest so far. So he stepped up. Monday Night Football reminded people that Detroit Lions, they are contenders.
Now, Jameson Williams also fairly got a game ball. 70-yard score for him. Curry Joseph was a safety who got a game ball. I mean, that was a complete win. It was a team win. Their defense did allow 500 yards of offense. Not great, but managed to just still apply some pressure and keep Seattle out of the end zone when it mattered most late. Their offense obviously was dicing things up. So not bad game balls to hand out, but Dan,
yeah, he messed that up.
Come
he messed that up, man. You know what it is? It's like my oldest child gets a lot of stuff because we just expect things out of him and he does it.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll get overlooked because we look at the younger ones like, oh, look at them, they finally did it. My son's like, you didn't see me just check off all the boxes that y'all wanted me to check off.
Right.
So that's what quarterbacks are sometimes. It's like, all right, they get the praise all the time. Let's highlight someone else. But Williams has had a rough start to his career, hasn't played a lot of football. So I think Dan, knowing how hard it is to play this game and to stay healthy, probably saw that big play and said, okay, he deserves a game ball.
Next up, the NFL Players Association is reviewing an incident involving a fan and a Bengals running back, Chase Brown being the running back. This is after Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. The Bengals got their first win of the season as Cincinnati's players were walking off the field at Bank of America Stadium in North Carolina. It was a Panthers home game. It appeared that a drink was poured on Brown by a fan in the stands. After the incident, Brown was asked about it. He said, I was walking and I felt liquid or whatever. And then when I saw the video, I'm like, dang, that's really what happened. Not cool.
Fans, dang well you wouldn't do that if you saw him in person on the streets.
No.
And that's some messed up stuff, man. Don't forget, these are human beings. Yes, they're wearing a different jersey. I know you're emotional about your game, maybe your fantasy football league.
I'm sorry your team is garbage right now.
But come on, man. This is uncalled for. The worst part about this is that I almost started Chase Brown, and I should have this weekend on my fantasy football team.
Yeah,
That's more important.
Maybe David Tepper because he's throwing drinks at people. People are taking a page out of his book. And maybe you can start Chase
Leadership.
In honor of, what I mean, to kind of back him up and show support. You can start Chase this week.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who they got?
Probably not the Chase for the Bengals you'd love to be able to start. Next up.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Next up, Amit Patel, a former Jacksonville Jags employee who stole more than $22 million from the team, is suing FanDuel in court. He filed that lawsuit earlier this morning, claiming the sportsbook exploited his gambling addiction and intentionally ignored its responsible gaming and anti-money laundering protocols. The 31-year-old is asking for $250 million in damages. He's also currently serving a 6.5-year sentence at Williamsburg Federal Prison in South Carolina.
My guy, listen, addictions are real. We know this. You stole $20 million and trying to get $220 back. Like, what are we doing, man? You trying to come out this thing in the plus, in the green? That's not how this works. Listen, there are substances and diseases that influence one's behavior, yet you still get punished for your behavior.
Yeah.
No matter what substance you are on, or if you do have a disease like a gambling addiction, it is real. He must have a heck of a lawyer. His lawyer saw something in this case and said, look, we might have the case here. We might have a shot. So I would big up your lawyer. And I know you're starting at $220 million. You're probably not going to get it. You're probably not going to get $20 million. But I guess good for your lawyer for finding a way to make this relevant.
I'm curious to see what the lawsuit uncovers in terms of FanDuel's behavior towards high spenders and towards gamblers who are placing really high wages. What complicates Amit's case is that the money with which he was gambling was stolen from his employer. So if there was a case where someone who was making like an average wage of an American worker downloaded an app and let's say that they aren't super familiar with apps or with gambling, and they find that the way that the app encourages them to place bets doesn't make it clear how much they could lose, that they're I can see how an app or a sports book could exploit someone who had a lack of knowledge of gambling or who did have an addiction and can't afford that. Him having stolen the money does add a really complicated layer to this, and I don't think it helps him.
Nah, it doesn't.
So
$220 million, Stacey?
250.
250?
So, 250.
$250 million.
Next up.
Close to it.
When asked if
It is, actually. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for the radio math.
When asked if Justin Fields' performance through 4 games is making Russell Wilson's health immaterial to the starting quarterback decision, head coach Mike Tomlin said, there's a potential for that, but we're not there as I stand here today. So, again, Tomlin said Fields' performance could eventually impact the Steelers' approach to bringing Wilson back from injury. Wilson's still out with injury, though. It's why Tomlin doesn't find a need to officially name Fields the starter, because Wilson isn't really competing with him.
There's no competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you roll with Fields. And the longer Russell Wilson is out, the harder it's going to be for him to crack that starting lineup, especially if Fields keeps winning games. Now, I know they lost this weekend, Craig. They're 3-1 now. They lost to the Colts. If he can beat the Dallas Cowboys and then beat the Raiders, and these dudes are sitting there at 5-1, and you're looking at the division and you're saying, hold on, we might have a chance. Probably not, because the Ravens are back on track, but it's a feel-good story. I just want Tomlin to continue to win at over 500 of his games, or 50% of his games, and keep that streak rolling, man.
I think the only thing that makes Fields' starting role in any way, I don't want to say in jeopardy. I mean, they're winning. He's performing well. He's playing some of his best football. Is that it is not dominant in the way, let's say, Sam Darnold's resurgence with the Vikings is. Who knows how long that lasts? I know you are Team Sam and really supporting him and actually called it, which is pretty cool. But it's not like Justin Fields is dropping 3 touchdowns a game. And, really, I mean, they are winning on the backs of their defense and also taking care of the football, establishing the run, having a few breakout moments. But they had, 3 touchdowns heading into that game?
Hey, team sport.
Yeah. I mean,
offense, defense, special teams.
I'm just saying there is still a door with which Russell Wilson could enter this conversation.
Yeah, there is. But if he's winning, you keep winning, you got to sit, my man. You got to sit.
The Dallas Cowboys, speaking of, are putting defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence on injured reserve because of a Lisfranc injury suffered to his foot in the third quarter of last week's win against the Giants. He is expected to need 4 to 8 weeks to recover, but will not require surgery. So it's actually good news for Dallas. Dallas will also be without Micah Parsons for the time being. They've got games against, as you mentioned, the Steelers and then the Lions, who we saw looking pretty good last night before they hit a bye week.
The Cowboys, a.k.a. the can't get rights, a.k.a. the all this hype just to let you down. These dang Cowboys, man. I don't feel sorry for your fan base. I don't feel sorry for anyone getting $60 million over there, $35 million. You getting paid. But at one of these days, they're going to live up to expectations. It ain't going to be this year.
I hope you're sitting down, because Bump has a bold proclamation, and he's ready to make it next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
They didn't get past the Lions. They didn't overcome the injuries. They didn't go on the road on Monday night and do what we sort of hoped they might. But most people are still holding their head pretty high today. What say you?
Weekdays 6 to 10.
The Seahawks didn't quit, man. And Ryan Grubb, I mean, to me, that was probably, if you ask me one name, one person, one thing that stood out, Ryan Grubb's game plan was off the charts.
Pretty
phenomenal
awesome.
Yet again.
Yeah. Read up on the latest news and opinions at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and as you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm honored to partner with the Harnish Auto family and the Carol Milgar Breast Center in the fight against breast cancer. For every test drive this month, they'll donate $25 on your behalf. Simply visit any of their 6 amazing dealerships, including Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup, or Kia and Chevy of Everett. No purchase necessary, just take a spin and make a difference. It's the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
Uh-oh. Looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A game. Talk to the Hawk, 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
When an 18-wheeler ran a red light and took the life of a Tacoma man in 2021, his family trusted Davis Law Group to fight for them. And we recovered a $3.5 million settlement and held the trucking company accountable for his death. Accident victims have trusted Davis Law Group to win their case for the past 30 years. And hundreds of 5-star reviews from real clients are proof that we've earned that trust. Call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
When you want to kick your weekend off right, Muckleshoot Casino Resort is always a big hit. Hey, it's your boy Cliff Averill. The biggest and the best in the Northwest is now bigger and better. Mark your calendar for a night of nonstop laughs with my guy and Washington's own Joel McHale, live at the Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, October 3rd. Gather your crew and meet up at Market 253 for delicious food and drinks before the show. Get your tickets to Joel McHale at MuckleshootCasino.com, and please game responsibly. All roads lead to Muckleshoot.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin D3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hi, I'm Stuart Holmes, Elections Director for Washington State. Washington's general election is November 5th. Visit votewa.gov by October 28th to register online or make sure your registration is up to date. After October 28th, register in person at a county elections office or voting center until 8 p.m. Election Day. Secure your vote. Register today.
Sponsored by the Office of Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Well, you probably noticed the temperature starting to fluctuate, and that gets even more pronounced at night. Is your insulation ready for the upcoming cold season? Let me guess. You haven't checked. You're like me. You don't want to go into your attic or your crawl space. Well, that's why Crawl Pros goes where you don't want to. It's Mike Salk here. They came out to my house for a free inspection and found my insulation wasn't up to snuff. So they showed me pictures of the problem, explained it, and then they got it all fixed. Now, Crawl Pros is partnered with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Don't wait for the temperatures to drop. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Again, if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
What's up, everybody? Michael Bumpus here. Are you looking for quality fencing? Look no further than Contour Fence. Locally owned and operated and serving the Puget Sound area since 1984. They specialize in residential and commercial fencing solutions as well as fence repairs. Visit contourfence.com to learn more about their services and use the code HAWKS10 for 10% off any repair or replacement. Schedule a free consultation directly on their site. Contour Fence, your trusted partner in fencing solutions. Visit contourfence.com today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith at quarterback? It's one of the most fascinating questions that we were wondering heading into this season, heading into the offseason for that matter. And when they did not in the draft find a young quarterback, and when they did not make some massive trade to acquire another starter, I think you and I were fine with Geno. But there were a lot of fans that said, well, I don't want to be just fine. I want to have a lot of hope, and I want to think someone can be the future. I get that Geno's 33 years old, but Bump, his performance through 4 weeks, most especially last night, has you thinking that the answer could be yes.
No, the answer is yes. If he plays like he's playing these past 4 games, you definitely can. And it's kind of like we should have saw this coming because last year wasn't better than the year before, but he was efficient. And what was holding this team back last year, it was the defense, right? Not being able to stop the run, not being able to stop guys from scoring points. It was tough. And you look at the 42-point score last night, you're saying, well, it's the same thing, but yeah, it is, but it's different. They didn't have a lot of their guys last night. Detroit Lions, better team last night, good execution. Jared Goff did the same. Geno was asked to throw the ball 56 times. 56 times, completed 38% of his passes, 38 passes out of 56. Second week in a row, he's broken his career record for completions. It's the way that he's doing it. With the pocket collapsing, him keeping his eyes down the field, rolling outside, throwing across his body. He's in complete control at all time. If you put this man on the Bills, contenders. You put him on the Cowboys, healthy, contenders. The Bengals, contenders. The Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, the Niners, the Rams, the Chiefs. Any of these guys who have quarterbacks who make them contenders, he will keep them contenders and might even elevate their play right now. Put them on the Bucs. They're going to look good. And this is just over. It took me 2.5 seasons, 2 seasons and some change for him to do enough to make me believe that this is possible. Every single year he's gotten better at something. Last year he was the best in the game, top 2 in the game when it comes to play action. The year before, he took care of the football and was the most accurate quarterback in the league. This year, he's doing all that and more. You look at his interceptions and you say, all right, well, he has 4 interceptions. Last night, trying to make a play late, taking a shot at the end zone, I get it. The other 3 interceptions, not on him, things happen. If Geno continues to play like this, you surround him with a good defense, your offense keeps producing, your offensive line gets better, you can definitely win a Super Bowl with Geno as your quarterback.
From the Mac and Jack's text line, yo, Bump, Geno did this to start the 2022 season and then blank the bed. Can't crown him yet, bro.
Not crowning him. Well, you know what? I am crowning him because I'm not just going off of a portion of the season. I'm looking at 2.5 seasons. Can you win with Geno as your quarterback? Answer me this. If this team had hold on one second, let me pull the stats. If this team had the Baltimore Ravens, the goodness gracious, Tennessee Titans best defense in the game right now?
No.
That threw me off. That threw me off right now. The top 3 defenses in the game. You ready?
No.
This messed me up.
Okay, is the Vikings one of them? Are the Vikings?
No.
Okay.
Titans?
No.
Broncos. Jets.
Stop.
Crazy. All right, so give him one of these 3 defenses. If he has one of those 3 defenses, let's go with defenses that we know and love and have been proven over the years. You give him the 49ers defense. You give him the Cleveland Browns defense. You give him the Baltimore Ravens defense. And he has weapons on offense. You don't think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl? I think he is. Because I think what we've learned, if you're not Patrick Mahomes, get away from Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to have a Patrick Mahomes.
Let it go.
All right, let it go. Ain't going to happen. All right? Who's the last quarterback to really challenge? Tom Brady with the Bucs. You put Geno on that Tom Brady team, they got a chance to win. This Geno, put him on that Tom Brady team, you have a chance to win. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. You put Geno on that Cincinnati team, you got a chance to win the Super Bowl. The LA Rams. You put Geno on that LA Rams team, he's there now. He's there. Now, is he going to continue to play at this level? We shall see. I'm talking about 4 games in, and you look at what he's done the past couple of seasons, and you don't think he's good enough to win you a Super Bowl right now? I think you're nuts.
Also, real talk, this defense is better than that 2022 defense. I went back and looked at the beginning of the 2022 season for Geno. Now, he hit the ground running, a win against Denver, obviously. He only threw for 195 yards, but still, 2 touchdowns, protect the ball, no interceptions in that one. They win that game. Geno chants at the end of the game. I still remember it. They head to San Francisco where they lose. It's a blowout, 27-7. But Geno was actually pretty efficient, completing 24 of 30, 80%. After that game, Pete Carroll, on the Pete Carroll Show, said that, man, I kind of wish we would have opened it up more for Geno. He actually lamented that they didn't just trust Geno more. So then they do that over the next couple of games. Against Atlanta, it's another loss, but Seattle drops 32 points. Geno throws for 325 and 2 touchdowns, including an interception, and then he has a breakout game against Detroit, maybe his best game of the season, where they win 48-45. This is the difference. They lost that game against Atlanta because they couldn't stop the run defensively. They lost against San Francisco, just allowing San Francisco to beat them defensively. They had some other struggles on offense, and they ended up going to lose a few more of these. New Orleans, maybe Geno's second best game of the season. They lost because they allowed 100 yards on the ground from Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. This is a better defense. It really does feel like that. I know that they just let the Lions drop almost 40 on them, but it feels like a better team.
Yeah, it is a better team. And I think that's partly what enhances my perception of Geno as well, and just the numbers through the first 4 games. The Hawks don't need Geno to throw for 30 touchdowns. Right? We saw that last night. You throw for 1 touchdown, you hand that football off and let Ken Walker do his thing, you're going to be in this game. You don't need him. You need, when it comes to touchdowns, you need about 20 to 25 of them things. You get 20 to 25, and he takes care of the football and completes around 69 to 75% of his passes. Right now, he's at 72%. 75 is a big ask. You got Jaden at 82%, which eventually he's going to calm down, and that percentage will go down. You'll be good. And I'm looking at the way that he's playing. He could go the whole season completing 70%, which he's done already, I believe, of his passes, and throwing 20-plus touchdowns. That's all you need, because it's not just about the percentage, the yards, and the touchdowns. It's the moments. It's the 3rd and 11 where you need a play.
Yeah.
It is the 3rd and short where you're sliding one into a receiver sitting in the zone. It's the dropping a dime on the sideline where only DK can get it. It's not just the numbers. It's the leadership, and it's the precision in his passing in those big moments, and how he does not look rattled, man. It's been so much fun watching the maturation of a 34-year-old man.
This is the kind of topic that I love for several reasons. 1, I love talking about quarterbacks and the different types of teams that can win Super Bowls. 2, it is really hard to admit when you are wrong about something, but also a good exercise in general when it comes to conversations in sports. I know some of y'all were wrong about Geno, and importantly, I know some of y'all were saying bad things about Geno and still don't think you're wrong. And if that's the case, I still want you to call in. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith at quarterback? 866-979-3776. Call now. I want you to call in if you're saying, like, I always really like Geno. I think if they just fix this and this, like if they get this O-line going, if they get healthy defensively, I think they're a Super Bowl team. Maybe that's your call, and that's completely fine. I want that call. 866-979-3776. Maybe you want to call in and say, you know what, I was wrong. I apologize. You want to be like Shaq. I wasn't familiar with your game, Geno. and here I am saying you might be better than I thought, and you might be a quarterback who can win a Super Bowl when some other pieces are good too. Maybe you're someone that says, Bump, you are insane. Bump, you are absolutely crazy. I think you're wrong, and here's why. You call in too, 866-979-3776. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith? That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Now, have you guys seen Ken Walker? Because he was really, really good last night. Clearly,
did that drop disappear, by the way?
Yeah, it's no longer in the system. Mora had it banned.
Mora, you killed that drop?
Yeah, sad. It's all gone now.
It's still...
She whitewashed it.
I mean, have you guys seen Ken Walker?
That's so good.
Every time.
He was difference maker. Enough so, Brock, and not just him, but I am starting to wonder if the worm is turning on running backs all being replaced.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Paid political announcement. A Bob for Bob update. In 2021, Bob pushed decriminalizing fentanyl just like Oregon. In 2023, more than 1,000 citizens in King County died from fentanyl overdose in a single year. While other states enforce and arrest fentanyl dealers, Washington, under 12 years of Bob, has become a leader in fentanyl deaths and last in law enforcement officers per citizen. It's simple. Vote Bob if you want more crime and less safety. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 1283 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors: Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
Build better benefits for your employees with the MBA Health Trust. The Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties offers quality and affordable health benefits for local construction businesses. Learn more at mbahealthtrust.com.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the interneting, you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Choose the right flooring for your home, right in your home, with Floor Coverings International. They bring the mobile showroom to you, loaded with samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, laminate, tile, and more, so you can see the flooring in your light, not just in a store or on a screen. They handle every aspect of installation, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Visit FCIFloors.com and book a free in-home consultation. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. So on your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Breaking this morning, Gonzaga will indeed join the Pac-12. The conference announced it themselves today. The move adds one of the country's most respected men's hoops programs to the Pac. But even though the Zags are adding all sports, they still won't count as a full-time member because they don't have football. That means the Pac still needs to add an 8th member before the 2026 deadline.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith at quarterback? You know, it's so funny. When we were talking about Geno Smith just as the starter shortly after the team traded for Sam Howell, we got a lot of people going, put Sam out there. Forget Geno. I don't want to see him. And text line suddenly gotten real quiet.
Yeah, but all it takes is one bad game from
Geno's
Geno.
Geno's going to throw
right back.
like 2 or 3 picks in a game. He's going to have one game that's horrendous, and then you're going to get people chiming back in going, I told you he's a 500 quarterback. That's all he is. He hasn't worked out for a reason. He hasn't made it work for a reason. 34 years old. He's washed. 34 years old, not born in the 80s. That gets me.
Barely.
866-979-3776. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno? Here's the deal. I'm not going to yell at you. If you call in and you want to disagree with Bump, who this is entirely based on Bump's proclamation that you can win a Super Bowl with Geno. If you want to disagree with him, that's totally fine. I would love to actually hear some difference in opinion when it comes to Geno and what makes for a Super Bowl team in general. But 866-979-3776. What I'm saying is don't feel discouraged to call if you hear people saying yes. Let's go to Trevor in Covington. Trevor, can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith?
Man, David, he's top 5, man. Did you guys watch the game last night? The Lions are pretenders. The Lions are pretenders, you guys.
What makes the Lions pretenders?
That's a bold statement.
They did not beat the pants off us. They didn't beat the pants off us when we had 4 starting front linemen out, 2 linebackers out. Of course, Jared
I think you think we're not on the same team right now. My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no, you're good, Mike. Okay, let's put it this way. Put Jared Goff on the Seahawks last night. You think he stays in that game if Geno's on the Lions? Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? Geno is top 5. He freaking kept us in the game by himself. I'll tell you what, you see the Lions again in the playoffs, they don't stand a chance if we're healthy.
Nice.
Period.
Period.
What you got for me?
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor. I think Trevor thinks that we're not on the same team. Or maybe he's just projecting his frustration towards people who don't believe in Geno.
Yes, I think
just
it's
through the stereo right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think he's standing on business.
I felt attacked. I had to calm myself down, Trevor, and realize he ain't talking to me because we're on the same team. Even if he did attack me, I was just ready to, to cordially come back. But we're good, Trev. I think Trevor's right. I think Geno's a better quarterback than Jared Goff right now.
Yes, I agree with Trevor's point there. I disagree that the Lions are pretenders. I think the Lions are
I think they're legit.
Genuinely a very good team. I think they're a better roster than Seattle. I do think that doesn't mean Seattle can't beat them. In fact, I think Seattle could have beat them if Seattle was healthier last night. Because again, just because a roster is better overall or a team, this team was in the NFC Conference Championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's not on accident. And they kind of beat themselves. They could have been in a Super Bowl. They should have been in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it should have been. A few coaching decisions kind of changed that game.
Yeah.
But no, the Lions are legit. But like I said to open the show, it's the same thing. People were talking about the Seahawks being 3-0 and not playing anybody. Yeah, the Lions got the Seahawks, but they didn't get their best shot. They had about 4 or 5 important players missing from that game. Not excuse, just reality. Can't wait to see this team again when they're healthy.
Agree with Trevor's point, and you mentioned it, comparing Geno and Jared. Tim Risk, who writes for Pro Football Focus, said after this one, if Jared Goff had a perfect game, what do we call the better quarterback's performance from the same game? And I don't mean to take away from what Jared did. That's not easy. It's incredibly impressive. 18 for 18. He had more receiving touchdowns than he did in completions in that game. That being said, I don't think that game plummets with Geno Smith at quarterback. I think they still win, and I think that you have great moments. Let's go to LG calling from Buffalo. LG, can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith?
Y-E-S spells yes. And here's why. When you think about a quarterback in a Super Bowl, you think about, can they make some throws? Can they operate the system? And is the moment too big? Geno is showing that he can do all three. And one of the key components to all this is grub. When you look at the offense now, it looks uniquely different now. They have answers. Years ago, and go back 2 to 3 years, they didn't. It was like, this is our A, this is our plan B, maybe. We don't have a plan C. Now you look at it, there's layers to the offense, and they have answers, and who's at the helm? Geno. So I think the continuity between Geno and hopefully Grubb can stay there. I think it's a wrap, because if that happens, they can only grow from here. I like Geno. Stick with him. They wrote him off. Being right back.
Thanks for the call, LG. Bump, what do you think?
I think this kind of goes to the texter that you told to call in, but he or she said they couldn't because they're working.
Mm-hmm.
4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's mid. And that just tells me that you don't watch football and you don't understand how those interceptions happen. And you don't understand that you don't watch every single play, and you don't watch it from the perspective that a lot of other people do. And the caller who was just in supports that, because it's not just stats. It's not just him being second in the league in completions, first in the league when it comes to yards. And he's had the most attempts in the league, 159, and he's still second when it comes to completion percentage. It goes to what that caller just said. Mm-hmm. He's calm. He's not panicking. He doesn't get flustered. He stands tall in the pocket. He's going to get hit in the chin. He still delivers the throw. That's a toughness that elite quarterbacks have, and he's slowly creeping in. I'm not saying he's elite of the elite. There's about 3 or 4 guys who are the elite of the elite, but he's not tier 3 right now. He's a tier 2 type of quarterback.
And he's not getting that respect right now. Like, I do not think, you have like the Dan Orlovskis of the world, Mina Kimes, obviously, who already pays attention to the Seahawks, who are watching the Seahawks, watching Geno, and then tweeting out how impressed they are. But there are a lot of voices around the NFL, and certainly many NFL fans outside of Seattle, that still see Geno Smith exactly like we did in 2022, which is this guy. That guy's your starter?
Right.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's no disrespect to Geno. It's that narratives are incredibly difficult to shake. And there's also a very natural question people have about, well, why didn't you break out then? Why didn't you win those jobs? Why didn't you impress? Why didn't you stick around with the Jets? So, again, it's hard to shake that as a quarterback. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith? Let's go to Nelson in Kent. Nelson, can you win a Super Bowl with Geno?
So I would say you cannot win a World Series with Jerry Dipoto as your general manager. Oh, we're talking football here?
We sure are.
Okay. So, Geno Smith, as you know, I've been saying for years. I remember calling in years ago saying we're going to be just fine with Geno. He's really good, and a lot of people laughed at me. Some people still laugh at me. I've been saying for a while he's a top 5 quarterback. I do think he is among the elite of the elite. And if you look around at the NFL this year and you look at Patrick Mahomes, he has not played well at all.
Would you take Geno over Patrick Mahomes, Nelson?
No. Patrick Mahomes is the best of all time. He's a Hall of Famer. But, if you're asking me, is Patrick Mahomes going to come on the Seahawks and make the Seahawks better than they are with Geno Smith? I don't believe that. No. I think Geno Smith, when it comes to just
You don't believe that?
Strictly, no, I don't. I think
Why
Geno
not?
Smith is that. I don't think there's a better thrower of the football
Okay.
than Geno Smith.
Fair.
Mahomes can maneuver and do some stuff that Geno can't. But, I mean, Geno's showing when he uses his – he's under – if you guys watched the game last night, Troy Aikman was gushing over Geno about how he was under pressure all night and finding ways to just move around and just throw an absolute dart. And, it's amazing to me that there are still people, like Bump said, once he has a bad game, those people are going to come out of the woodwork. And, I don't understand why some of our fans don't they genuinely seem to, be rooting against him and not like him. And that, to me, is just wild. We're in great hands with Geno. I said it before that we should have extended him before the season because, boy, his price is going up, up, up. All right, guys, we're going to win next week 4-1, get our guys healthy, and then we're going to beat the Niners. We'll be 5-1.
I love it. Thanks for the call, Nelson. Good hearing from you. I might disagree with Nelson on Geno's overall ceiling. I will give Nelson credit that Geno throws a beautiful ball, and even, in fact, Patrick Mahomes has said that.
Yeah, Geno can spin that thing. It's pretty, man. He, it's unfortunate. I wish I would have. I remember watching Geno when he was with the Jets, but not as intently, right? I'm gonna go back if I can. I'm gonna go back and try to find some Geno film from the Jets just to see how far he's come since then.
He has one perfect game with the Jets. 158.3 passer rating.
Oh, yeah?
153.8. What's the
Did
perfect one?
Jared Goff have a perfect passer rating last night? How?
So.
How, Sway?
Because I think do you need a minimum number of pass attempts or yards? I'm not
entirely
entirely
That's
sure.
Crazy.
I just know Geno has one game where it was a perfect passer rating for the Jets, and then he has another game where it was 4 interceptions. It was very up and down, very volatile beginning to his career. All right. Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith? Let's go to Justin and Yelm. Justin, can you win a Super Bowl with Geno?
Of course you can. If you can win a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer, you, of course, can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. The key is putting the right people around him, putting him in situations where he can succeed. And that's been the main difference this year is it's just like one of the previous callers said. They have, something's not working, they'll make an adjustment, and they go a different direction. And in Geno, you have a guy that gives you the ability to do that. He's not a one-trick pony. He's got, he's been around. He's a veteran. He's seen it all. He's got everything in his repertoire to be able to change on the fly. And he does throw one of the prettiest balls I've seen. I'm getting tired of having to defend him on Facebook all the time to strangers, and that gets me all fired up. And I'm telling you, man, I've had more arguments with random people in the last month. I don't know what people are expecting. Please, if you are not a Geno Smith fan at this point, please give me a realistic scenario that improves us this season.
Thanks for the call.
Because I don't see it. Yeah, you bet.
Thanks for the call, Justin. Justin said, yes, sir, you can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. And then also pointed to something I think is important, and I was thinking this when people were calling for someone else. Who else? Who? You think Josh Allen is going to show up? Or for that matter, that the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense is going to show up and say, we got your back. Don't worry about it. You have the team you have right now. The best option is Geno Smith, and you are so fortunate that he's performing like a top 5 passer right now.
And big ups Ryan Grubb. Ryan Grubb and Geno Smith, their communication must be awesome. For all my married people out there, when you're in a season with your wife or your significant other where things are, it is popping. It is just lovely. Oh, you're so funny. You're so sweet. I know exactly how you feel. Actually, I'm going to read your mind right now and go get you a sandwich. Oh, you want some water before you go sleep? Everything is just in sync. That's how I imagine Ryan Grubb and Geno Smith.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith? 866-979-3776. I do have some people saying no, but they're not calling in. They're just texting in. I'll get to those in a second. Let's go to Rick and Anacortes. Rick, can you win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith?
Hell yes, you can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. That guy, I guarantee he studies more than any other quarterback in the league. And like Bump was talking about, he had people in his face all night. But his eyes and his shoulders were constantly downfield. I mean, he was making throws Russell Wilson could only dream of making. I think Geno's a top 3 quarterback. I think he's better than Josh Allen. I think Lamar and Pat.
Wait, you think he's better than Josh Allen? Josh Allen's off to the best start of any passer this year. What makes Geno better than Josh Allen?
Just the way that Geno, he doesn't make mistakes. Josh Allen,
he's got 4 picks.
He's a little reckless sometimes with the football.
He is, yeah.
And maybe that's more years past, but
yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about Geno. I think he studies the game harder than anyone else in the NFL.
Fair. You know, I said that, you know, if you disagreed or if you had a different opinion, totally fine, totally welcome. And I respect you for calling in, Rick. Rick said, hell yes, you could win a Super Bowl with Geno. I love the attitude.
Joshua?
Hell yes.
Joshua?
I disagree that he's a better quarterback than Josh Allen. I will say
Mr. Wyoming?
What I think Rick is getting at is that he thinks Geno, apart from if you just look at the 4 interceptions and Bump, as you said, those all have really important context.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that Geno has been that careless with the ball.
Nah.
That Josh Allen will take more risks than Geno, which is fundamentally
That's true.
It is fundamentally
He also
true.
has
Rick's right.
physical abilities that allow him to take more risks.
Right, which is why I would tend to say, well, I'll take the gamble then on someone that has the attributes of Allen. But Rick isn't wrong in that Allen is a risk taker in ways that Geno isn't.
Right, yeah, correct.
Yeah, but I think, look, I'm surprised how many people are saying yes, considering.
I wanted some no's, man.
This is what I'll tell you.
I wanted some no's to call in.
This is what I'll tell you.
Y'all talk all that stuff.
This is what I'm saying.
That's one of the no, and it's okay to disagree. Here's what people need to understand: like, just because we disagree don't mean like I don't love you. We'll just disagree.
Yeah.
Like some people want to disagree, but like you're just dumb and you're false. I go, well, I got to be all that. We just can't disagree.
I just think it's interesting. I just think it's funny how if you go back and you look at, like, if you search Geno Smith, Bump, and Stacy show, and you find a YouTube video from, let's say, like, you go back to June or whatever, and you find a video where Bump says, I think that with Ryan Grubb, Geno could have his best year. I know we have that video somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you will find comments under that video that say that Bump is insane, that
Facts.
Bump cannot be right, that Bump doesn't watch football, that Bump doesn't understand this.
Yep.
I guarantee you will find that.
For
and
sure.
I think that those voices, like a bear in hibernation, will come back out once Geno has a bad game. Because that's
Guaranteed.
the nature of football.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. There is going to be a game where Geno struggles. And the challenge of that is whether or not you still believe and whether or not you still think that he can correct that. And I just love that. I don't know. I'm shocked that on a Tuesday following a Monday Night Football loss that I feel so optimistic about this offense and this team and where Geno is and Grubb is. It's been a really fun start to the season. All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Jared Goff, have a night. What were the Lions able to do that allowed Jared to have his most efficient day as a pro?
Man, they were able to control the line of scrimmage and get the run game going. It was really impressive watching these guys do what they do best, man. Pack it in and run the football. You saw 2 tight ends out there, an extra offensive lineman, and they set the tone. Like from the very first play, they told the Seahawks, we are going to make this a physical type of game.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 running backs who are more than capable of getting it done. And the knock on Gibbs was that he wasn't really efficient running between the tackles. That is a dang lie. He was running in between the tackles. Montgomery was running in between the tackles. That set everything up. I said it before, I'll say it again. Football has changed a lot. The equipment has changed. The offenses have changed. But the one thing to be true is if you can run the football, you'll have control of the game. And that's exactly what they did right there. And Jared Goff is his mesh points in the backfield, his play action, him showing the football, tucking it away. He's not the most athletic guy, so he has to be great at things like that. So you have the influence of just having success running the football. Jared Goff being a magician with the football. Imagine playing linebacker in this league these days. It is tough, man. The offense was able to influence the defense because of the run, open everything else up.
Second down. What did the Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson take advantage of on their biggest play of the day?
So that was that 70-yarder we were just talking about.
Yes.
What happens is, all right, the Lions come out and they have 2 tight ends to the right, and they pack in a Monroe St. Brown next to him. You got 1 receiver to the left of Jared Goff. Jared Goff is under center. You've already had success running the ball, so the play action is good to go. What happens is 2 safeties, both safeties blitz. So essentially, you have 2 corners covering half of the field. It looks like they're covering the third, honestly. In the middle of the field is just wide open. On the side that Witherspoon is on, he's covering his third or fourth, whatever you want to call it. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he runs a post. So typically he goes, look, I have nothing else threatening me. I'm going to run with this post. Little does he know, Williams is going around the other side on the deep cross. So he catches him in no man's land. He's trying to stay on top of the post and got Reek Willen, who passed the cross route over to Witherspoon. And when you try to start and stop against one of the fastest players in the game, you're never going to catch him. That's Ben Johnson dialing up the perfect play against the blitz.
Third down. We know the separations and the preparation. But what was the real separation between these two teams last night?
Last night, it was the little things, man. Like, I'm watching the film, and I'm comparing their O-line to the Seahawks O-line, their D-line to the Seahawks D-line. And obviously, it's not a fair fight because you got some guys out.
Right.
But I'm looking at hand placement, their first steps, leverage, how they're driving their feet. The Detroit Lions are a team that has experienced success for the last couple years, and you can see it. They are coached up. They're not afraid of the big moment. I was excited for this because now the Seahawks know, and Mike McDonald knows what a big game feels like. This was different than last year. Last year, the Lions were a good team. Obviously, they made it to the conference championship, but now there's a different type of expectations, and these guys are believing in themselves and what they're doing. It was a great test, but it's the little things, man. The technique was on point. The ability to sell things that weren't there are on point. This is a veteran type of team, and you can tell just by watching at the little thing. Just technique alone separated these two, and then you add in the missing pieces, and the Lions win 42-29.
Staying on this topic for just another minute here, we did have a listener text in earlier on the Mac and Jacks text line saying, you know, I really think if the 6 defensive starters were out there that the Seahawks are a better team. And your in mind's automatic reaction was, no, I think the Lions are a better team, a better roster, but that doesn't mean that you can't put up a good fight or
you can't beat them.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you can't beat them.
Not at all.
And if you do have all your guys out there, it doesn't mean that you're going to beat them.
Right.
Because there are things that happen in a football game.
Yes.
And you made the point, we were talking off air, the best team in the league was who last year?
Baltimore.
They did not win the Super Bowl.
Nope.
That is why you got to play games, man. That's why you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the best team in football right now, but they're the one of 2 undefeated teams. Why? Because of their pedigree and their personnel and just the system that they have. When you have personnel, quarterback, a defense, or if you start relying just on your system, you have a system that works. Andy Reid's system is proven. Ben Johnson's system is proven. That's why this game got me excited, because I go, all right, what adjustments are we going to make? You stood in there. 42-29 does not tell the story. You stood in there with the Detroit Lions with a defense that was beat up and an offense that put up record numbers when it comes to first downs, over 500 yards of offense, and you showed you can hang with them.
Yeah.
All right, now we get to learn. We get to learn from these situations. And Lions were due, man. Beat them 6 times in a row, 3 times at the house.
The thing.
You know, they were due.
And I think the Lions are just very sincerely a really, really talented team.
Yeah.
Like, they might be right now the best team in the NFC. San Francisco's incredibly banged up and has been struggling, and I don't know how soon they're going to get them in Minnesota. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be really, really tough. The NFC North, man. Holy cow. 4th down. Who do you see getting more and more involved in the Hawks offense?
Young man who had a touchdown last night. I'm talking A.J. Barner. He is, his style of play fits what this offense needs to be. I'm not saying he's this caliber of player yet, or if he ever will be, we shall see. But I'm looking at Sam Laporta on that side of the football, and they're the same type of tight end, same type of capabilities. A.J. Barner has to grow and mature a little bit, but you're seeing his production increase as far as snap count, right? Week 1, he had 32 snaps, then he went down with 25 the next week, 18 against Miami. He's back up to 35, and they're putting him in these situations. They're designing plays. He was open several times. I think he, right now, is probably the more reliable tight end. We saw Farrell Brown drop a ball. We saw Noah Fant drop a ball. There's just something about the way that he catches the football and runs his routes that makes me believe he's going to be good to go. There's some guys who catch the football and it looks like there's a magnet on their hands. Like the ball just sticks. It looks natural. He's the most natural pass catcher in the tight end room we have on this team right now. I expect him to get more playing time and his numbers to go up.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, though, heading to the station for Hype Train.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
What'd you see from Geno?
They played a really good game. They gave him some hard things. The way they rush and like with Aiden there, you don't have forever back there. And so he's making fast decisions. I think our guys are getting their spots well. In the way the game played out, we needed them to do that. But the guys did what they needed to do to keep us, alive, keep us in the game. And there was a path to win the game. You've got to give our guys credit for fighting it out the whole time.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are you a skilled HVAC tech looking for a top-rated team? Join Ben's Plumbing, rated 5 stars for exceptional service. Enjoy great pay and benefits, a supportive team, and a non-commissioned HVAC career. Visit benz.plumbing/careers to apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Seahawks offense was impressive in the losing effort Monday night, putting up 516 total yards with 38 first downs. But the defense struggled with so many of the starters out injured. Mike McDonald acknowledged the lopsided performance on each side of the ball post-game, but he was happy with the overall resolve and effort of his team.
Offense was responding. Defense, we weren't able to get stops, especially in the second half. And there's a feeling that you see in the guys' eyes where, there's no one's hanging their heads.
no one, everyone's just like laser focused, poised, just like we've talked about throughout the Denver game. And that's a characteristic of our team that we've had throughout the season. So proud of that. It's easy to start, looking around and woe is me type of idea, but that's not our guys.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Uh-oh. Looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A game. Talk to the Hawk. 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know coming your way in 15 minutes. Get your questions in now to the Mac and Jack's text line. Any question you have, text it 866-979-3776. First one in is going to be, which sports league will most likely move back to Oakland first? And do you think it would be by expansion or another team moving? I have a depressing answer for that one. 866-979-3776. Get your questions in. Right now, we're heading to the station for Hype Train. Let's go. First one in, the Seahawks are going to be playing 3 games in 11 days. One of those was obviously Monday night's game, so that one's in the past. You got 2 more coming up here. A Sunday game, obviously, against the Giants at Lumen. Then you're going to be at Lumen again for a Thursday night game against the 49ers. This is your Hype Train. The Seahawks will begin another 3-game win streak this weekend. So that includes wins over the Giants, 49ers, and the Falcons would be your next opponent. Wins against all 3. Are you feeling that one?
Hey, don't sleep on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Falcons got some weapons over there. I think they're going to go 2-1 in this 3-game stretch, and you're good. You don't even need to go 3-0. That'd be fine. That'd be great. I'd love it. But that means you got to take down the Niners or the Falcons. And it's just going to be tough, man. So I think 3-game winning streaks are hard to come by in this league. I think they split up. I mean, they go 2-1, no 3. I'm not on.
Okay. Are you guys boarding? Who wants to go first?
I'll board. Yeah.
Yeah?
Hit the horn
Do you
train.
actually believe that, or are you just saying it?
So I'm saying it because if I'm right, I'm going to look like a genius and Bump is going to look like a doomer, and I kind of love the idea of that. So yeah, I'm on it.
Okay. Boarding, not boarding?
Glad I can inspire you.
I'm not boarding. I think
Wow, what a
Bump is
hater.
right. I think 2-1 out of this 3-game stretch is probably more likely. I see like a big game against the Niners and then maybe kind of a letdown against the Falcons. A lot of emotion coming out of that Niner game.
Okay.
It'd be tough to come back.
I'm not boarding this one. I think I just think a 3-game start, and what would you be to start your season? 6-1? That's so impressive.
Yeah.
And also so far exceeds my
more than I
expectations
could ever ask
that
for.
I am very okay saying
Yeah.
no. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up here, Davante Adams has reportedly informed the Raiders, I love how this is phrased, that he'd prefer to be traded. I just prefer to be traded.
You know?
It would be nice. And he will be before the November 4th deadline. That is going to be your hype train. So the report isn't that he will be. The report is that he'd like to be. My hype train is that he will be traded, Davante Adams, before November 4th.
Antonio Pierce is going to do everything he can to keep this man, and he should, because it's not looking good in Dallas. If Minshew was playing at a higher level and Davante Adams believed in him, then he wouldn't want to trade. But he wants to get out of that division, too. He knows dang well the Raiders don't have a chance, especially with the way that the Chargers have shown some life over there. I think he's gone. I think he's that type of receiver to where he has that type of influence, and if he wants out, he gone. So Adams, and he's gonna go to. They're gonna send him over to. Let's send him over to the Commanders, huh?
That's kind of fun.
The Commanders.
I like that one.
That'd be fun.
Matt, you boarding?
I am gonna board.
Would you like to tell me why?
There was this story on ESPN earlier today about how Antonio Pierce liked a social media post about him getting traded, and it was apparently an actual story. And I just find that funny. That's so incredibly petty.
I like
to like
it.
a story about one of your players getting traded. So yeah, he gone.
Ian, are you boarding?
I am boarding because I think Aaron Rodgers wants him back. I think he needs kind of another veteran in that locker room. He's done a great job so far with kind of controlling and coming back to this Jets team that's needed him bad, but having another veteran voice in that locker room, I think would be a big help for him.
206 says Davante to the Chiefs. Let me tell you what, the Raiders over their dead body would trade Davante to the Chiefs.
Ain't no way.
But they should.
That would be fun to watch.
Do it for fun.
But ain't no way.
Do it for the rest of us. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's really not about you. It's about what we want.
And here's the thing, the Chiefs be like, we'll give you a first round pick. Why are you picking 30th, man?
Yeah,
we don't even want your first round pick.
We hate you. All right, here. Next up, speaking of the Chiefs, them and the Minnesota Vikings are the last two undefeated teams, and they will remain undefeated coming up here after week 5. Chiefs are playing the Saints. Vikings are playing the Jets. Those are two good matchups. Both teams pack a punch.
Vikings for sure. Vikings for sure. They have, it's an old man's league now. Sam Darnold and Geno Smith run this league.
Yeah.
So Vikings for sure. Chiefs are going to take their first L. They've been sneaking by.
Been imperfect.
They've been sneaking by. They need to get popped in the mouth, and the Saints have the firepower to do it. Are they home or away?
I don't actually know. Doesn't matter. I know it matters, but
week 5. I can look it up real quick. I can look it up. It's week 5, right?
Week 5.
Week 5.
So I know
you at Chiefs. Where you at?
They might be
It's a
on the
Monday night
road.
matchup too.
Ooh.
New Orleans at the Chiefs, though.
Okay.
I'm still rolling
Tough
with it.
environment.
Still rolling with it.
Okay. Matt, Chiefs playing the Saints, Vikings playing the Jets. Do both teams win? Yes or no?
I'm hopping on board the train.
Okay.
Same logic as earlier. If I'm right and Bump is wrong, I'll get a rub it in his face all week.
That works. Ian, are you boarding?
I am not boarding. I think the Saints really need to get right after they had a hot start and then dropped the next 2 games. Coming back against the Chiefs would be a big statement win for that Saints team.
The 206 pointing out also big petty ball game if Sam Darnold wins. Vikings beating the Jets. Love a petty ball.
Love a petty.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it that much sweeter.
Revenge
Let's
game.
go, Samuel. Let's go.
Your one-sided best friendship with Sam Darnold is maybe the most beautiful thing to come out of the start of this season.
You know what's even better about that game? It's in London. It's overseas.
Oh, good. So you can use that accent all day.
6:30 a.m. Damn, you gonna have me up early, Sam. I mean,
you got to do it.
I got to do it for the homie.
You
got to do it for the homie.
have to. Next up. Pac-12 added Gonzaga earlier today. They don't count as a full member, though, because they don't have football. It means that in order to reach the minimum threshold of 8 members, the Pac still needs one more team. They've got some time to do it. 2026 is actually their deadline. By the time that rolls around, the Pac will actually have 12 teams committed.
By when? Next year?
Yes, I think it's mid-2026, I think.
Mid-2026. Nah, we don't need 12. We don't need 12. You know?
But it's called the Pac-12.
It's okay. That's okay. It was also called the Pac-8. It was also called the Pac-10.
It was called the Pac-8 because they had 8 teams. They changed it to Pac-10 when they got 10 teams.
You never let them know your next move. Okay? That's what we're doing here. Nah. All we need is 8. You know what? We're going to get to 8, and then they're going to be knocking on our doors like, nah, we good. You know what? We'll open up registration again in a couple years. We good.
Matt, are you boarding this train?
I'm going to board this train out of hope that we could actually have a conference where the number in the name corresponds to how many teams.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with Matt knowing whether or not
so
it's going to happen.
So there's 16 teams in the Big Ten.
And I find that stupid,
too. It's better to have more than less than the name
It's still a lie. It's still a lie.
Just change the name to the Pac-8 again.
Still a lie. Nah.
I'm going to the next one just because I want to make sure we do it. It's October 1st. Congratulations. It's finally here. And I need just other people to see.
Spice.
This is the thing. Pumpkin spice is good, and that's okay. Everyone needs to stop pretending that they're above pumpkin spice. Shut up. No, you're not. You're just trying to be like tough and strong and I hate pumpkin spice. It's delicious. You love pumpkin pie, nutmeg, cinnamon. All of these are wonderful flavors, objectively good flavors. Just admit that pumpkin spice is good and that's okay. Bump, are you boarding this train?
Wow. That was a little premature.
Thank you.
Nah, pumpkin spice is all right. It's all right. That's all it is. It's all right.
But it's good.
It's all right.
Do you like pumpkin pie?
Like, if you mess up my order and I get a pumpkin spice, I'm not like, take it back.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's cool. I mean, I guess I can do it. I'd rather have a vanilla nitro boost, but, you know.
I think the hate against pumpkin spice is performative. I think that's what it is. It's very coded.
I think your just excitement about pumpkin spice is performative.
Delicious. No, it's genuinely, sincerely a delicious flavor. And you can have too much of it. It is very sweet, but I never get the hate for pumpkin spice. I'm like, why? It's seasonal. It's fun. You don't hear people like December rolls around. I hate peppermint. What? It's seasonal. It's fun. It's sweet. What's wrong with it? Matt.
I'm on this train.
Thank you.
He hit you.
Even
with
I can't be a hater.
He hit you with the. He already hit you with that. You knew he was gonna hop on that.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Ian, are you boarding this train?
Oh yeah, I'm
Good
all
job.
over.
Good job, Ian.
This
You did your job.
You know
today.
what this is? It's cultural. It's me against all of y'all right now. It's cultural. All right, we talking sweet potatoes or something like that?
Can you imagine if I was like sweet potato spice lattes?
I'll be like, yup.
Boarding. 866-979-3776. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776. That's next.
Hawks Live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Join former Seahawks Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer as they go deep on the Hawks with player interviews and opponents' analysis.
We're joined now by Drake Thomas. Talk to me about the Mike McDonald defense.
I think he really utilizes personnel well, and I think that the game plan and attacking teams and what they're doing is just on another level.
Presented by the Bellevue Collection.
Every Thursday night throughout the Hawks season.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. with Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI will help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Before you buy generic Viagra, try this hack to get 9 tablets for just $7. Prescription and shipping are free. All you need to do is go to FridayPlansRx.com and answer a few medical questions. A doctor reviews your answers and prescribes you online for free, if appropriate, 9 tablets of generic Viagra for just $7. Go to FridayPlansRx.com. Yes, that's right, 9 tablets for $7. FridayPlansRx.com. Restrictions apply. Paid for by FridayPlansRx.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. Get your questions in. Any question to the Mac and Jack's text line 866-979-3776. Someone, their first question was, what's the next professional league to move a team to Oakland? I don't know.
Ain't nobody moving to Oakland.
I don't think anyone's moving to Oakland.
WNBA ain't gonna touch
it.
It's messed up, man. I got love for Oakland, but I don't see anybody going there.
No, I don't either. And it's really, really depressing and sad because the people of Oakland deserve to have a team, and to have so many stripped away in such a short period of time, relatively short period of time, is really sad.
Yep.
What I need to know, whose contract would you renew, Geno or DK?
Both.
Yeah, make a sacrifice somewhere else.
You can do both.
Why not both? Let's see. Why not would be, well, do you move on from Tyler? Do you move on from Dre Jones? You know what I mean? Like, where's the cut you make elsewhere? But I think what Bump is saying is I'll make that sacrifice to keep both.
Yep.
866-979-3776. Pancakes, waffles, or French toast? Very important question. The correct answer is in order that. Pancakes, waffles, French toast.
Nah.
Yes.
French toast.
No.
Waffles.
No.
No, French toast, pancakes, waffles.
The thing about pancakes is they absorb. So when they sit there after like 5, 6, 7 minutes, they're even better. Like they've absorbed all the butter and syrup.
You know what you remind me of right now?
Of Food Genius?
No, of people who disagree with me on X and like try to convince me, like, this is it.
Like, have
Michael.
you had pancakes?
Hold on.
Is what I'm saying.
No, you are wrong. Like, no, I just like French toast.
French toast is
You
okay.
know?
But can you ever, with French toast, taste like that eggy kind of, eggy kind of vibe? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
it's like
want
it's never
to.
it's like a ghost. Like it's never completely gone. It's like I know what you were.
Eggy.
You know what I mean? Like right now you're delicious French toast, but you were just bread soaking in eggs
Yeah.
not that long ago.
That's bomb though, with the cinnamon too.
What I need to know. What's the best use of bacon?
Listen, bacon is the most versatile thing in this world.
I know that's right.
Bacon is the quarterback who will throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 1,015.
The dual threat. The
The dual
original
threat.
dual threat.
Bacon is Travis Hunter at University of Colorado.
Yes, that's a perfect analogy. That's
Like-
exactly what it is. Give it the Heisman yesterday.
Whatever
Sorry,
you want
Ashton
bacon to
Genty.
do, it will do it for you.
Donuts, check.
Ice cream.
check. Sandwiches,
Salads, burgers. I mean,
pancakes,
come on now.
French toast.
Whatever you need.
Literally anything.
Bacon got you.
Have you ever seen a piece of bacon fall on something and picked it off? No, you're just
Nah,
like,
just mix that in.
Exactly. Oh, it fell in this like thing of peas and carrots. You're gonna take that bite.
It's all good. Extra
It doesn't
flavor.
matter.
All right, here's the real question.
Yes.
Like, why does bacon taste like that? What part of the animal is it coming from? Why is it?
I don't even.
Is it seasoned? Like, what is it about bacon? It smells different.
I don't even know, because that's the thing. It's like you don't even have to put something on it. That's just how it is.
It just
What
exists.
did we find or do? I don't want to know.
I know, right?
I don't want to know.
It's like when I found out about hot dogs. I ain't touched a hot dog in
I don't
like
want to
15
know.
years.
Yeah. But whatever it is, it's like we discovered the best tasting slice of
Yeah.
meat on the planet.
Whoever did that, thank you.
Yeah. Another question that you brought up earlier is where parts of chicken wings come from. And I was stuck on that. I did so much Googling
Same.
during the break.
Like, they're little, or the wings are bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I thought chickens were bigger than our chicken wings. So where do they come from?
Do we want to know?
I want to know if there are farmers listening who can tell me if there are pods of tiny chickens from which chicken wings come from that aren't the size of regular chickens.
Apparently, bacon's from the belly.
Cool. I'm fine with that. What I need to know, rank the following. Okay, so you actually have quite a few. Butterfingers, Mars, Snickers, Twix, Reese's. Reese's.
Reese's,
Yes,
Twix.
correct.
What's left?
Butterfinger, Mars, Snickers.
Snickers.
Correct.
Butterfinger Mars.
Yeah, pass with flying colors.
Thank you.
Let's see what I need to know. Other than winning on Jeopardy, what game show gives you the best bragging rights?
Family Feud.
I think Survivor.
Yeah, you know what? Y'all got me into Survivor. I'm 2 episodes in.
You're kind of digging it.
I'm digging it. It's corny as hell.
It is.
But I can do corny.
Yes.
I like it.
Let's see. Someone said it's why it's called the wing. But no, they're like little chicken legs. Like it's like a whole, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone said the wings are split in half.
Okay. But what about the little legs? Sometimes you see the little legs and you're
Little
like,
homies.
what chicken gave you that?
Would you
Where'd
ever
it come from?
Would you ever eat chicken feet? Would you try it?
I would try it.
I ain't touching that.
Yeah, I would try it. Let's see. What I need to know. People are just texting in.
Bacon and Bloody Marys.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
in drinks now.
You can truly put
Come on.
bacon in on anything.
Everything.
Milkshakes.
Don't matter.
I would honestly, if someone was like, it's Diet Coke, but it's bacon infused, I'd try it. I would try it. And that's insane, because if someone was like, it's Diet Coke, but it's got a little bit of pork to it, or it's Diet Coke, but it's like just a taste of chicken, I'd be like, you're insane.
You're crazy.
You're an insane person. I'm not going to have chicken-flavored Diet Coke.
Nah.
But if you were like bacon-flavored Diet Coke, I'd give it a sip.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to know. If you still own DVDs, what are some that should really be donated because they're not that good?
Oh, man. You keep DVDs at all times. You never let them go.
Yeah, there's archaic
You never let them go.
artifacts.
I wonder if my kids even know what those are.
Did you see the video of players from, I want to say the Commanders? Maybe it was USC and I'm tripping and it's just similar colors, that were shown different things?
Yeah, it was a VHS.
Yes, and they had no idea. Like, what is this? Which I couldn't blame them, because if you showed me something, like, I don't know what an 8-track is.
That was like,
I know
they
it's
stopped
a
making
thing.
VHSs like for real, like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Apparently there's a Coca-Cola Oreo. I'd try it.
I don't want to touch that.
It's gross. It's gross?
It's gross.
Does it taste too much like Coca-Cola, or what's it taste like? Like a
no,
peppery
it tastes
Oreo?
it's like kind of cookie-y. There's like, you're like, oh, I'm having a sip of Coke, and then there's an aftertaste of cookie, and you're like,
That's why I don't like
this is
Dr.
wrong.
Pepper, because that aftertaste.
Oh, Dr. Pepper's so good.
I don't know about that.
When's the last time you had Dr. Pepper?
Like
See, now I'm being the same
6
people
years, maybe.
that fight with you on Twitter when they're like, well, you just haven't had it recently.
You haven't done it right.
You haven't done it, though. It's like, no.
Let me buy the Dr. Pepper.
Someone said you're only getting 2/3 of the wing, but I mean the little legs. The little legs. Oh, maybe what they mean is the leg is like a shoulder, and the joint is where the wing attack. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I just need to know definitively if there are small chickens and big chickens.
Being sacrificed.
I'm just saying, are there small chickens and big chickens, and we're eating chicken wings from the small chickens, and we think it's the big chicken?
Someone just sent a diagram, so
I will be looking at that shortly. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Hawks Live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Join former Seahawks Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer as they go deep on the Hawks with player interviews and opponents' analysis.
We're joined now by Drake Thomas. Talk to me about the Mike McDonald defense.
I think he really utilizes personnel well, and I think that the game plan and attacking teams and what they're doing is just on another level.
Presented by the Bellevue Collection.
Every Thursday night throughout the Hawks season.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2.